Hey, it's Scott Barrett, and welcome back to The Burning Truth. And this is another Watch Along Live. This episode, we are rewinding the clock to one of the most chaotic, unpredictable, and downright historic nights in wrestling history. It's WWE now, St. Valentine's Day Massacre 1999.
That's right, Scott. We're going all the way back to February 14th, 1999, live from the Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee. This wasn't just any pay-per-view. This was a night where rivalries reached a fever pitch, careers were altered, and the Attitude Era delivered some absolute carnage.
Oh, you're not kidding. This card was stacked with mayhem. We had The Rock versus Mankind in Last Man Standing. We had the WWF Championship, the debut of a certain big surprise, and of course the main event, which was Stone Cold Steve Austin stepping inside that silent steel cage, that big blue, with Mr. McMahon.
Oh yeah, we're talking about one of the most infamous matches of the era of Austin versus McMahon. No rules, no escape, and a battle that changed their rivalry forever. And we're going to be breaking down every punch, kick, every chair shot, every shocking moment along the way.
And if you're joining us for the first time, we've only done a couple of these, but here's how this works. You get your copy of St. Valentine's Day Massacre 1999 ready, whether you've got it on Peacock, DVD, Netflix, like me and my co-host Matt Burns, and you queue it up at the very start of the event. Then we count down 3, 2, 1, play, and we all hit play at the same time as me and Matt Burns. That way, we can guide you through all the action, match by match, with our reactions, insights, and a little bit of trivia along the way, or as he likes to call them, his Matt facts.
So grab your snacks, crack open a cold one, and let's relive one of the most unforgettable nights in wrestling history. This is The Burning Truth, and we're bringing the Attitude Era back.
All right, folks, let's get the video queued up. There's nobody watching live currently. Hopefully they'll join us along the way. But if you're listening to this on the podcast through the week or you're watching this back, press pause on us now. Get yourself St. Valentine's Day Massacre queued up, and then we're going to go. Are you ready?
Yep.
3.
I'm ready. 2, 1, play.
Play. And we are off. This is like peak for me, peak fandom. And now we get this countdown.
And what I find interesting is the countdown to this, for me, looks familiar, almost like it was used for someone's entrance video. The beginning of it was.
Funny that, isn't it? That's what they did. Yeah. I like this old-timey-wimey feel as well.
Yeah, it's got like a bit of a nice vibe to it, doesn't it? Now,
I haven't got my normal snacks tonight, Matt Burns,
You haven't? What have you
I
got?
haven't got my normal snacks. I've just got one lonely cream egg. How do you eat yours?
Oh, well, how you eat yours does define who you are. But anyway, interesting facts for us for this event before we get into it. Before we actually watch this, we actually had some pre-matches before this. We had a dark match of Too Much, Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor, who eventually become Too Cool, defeating the Hardy Boys.
Were they too much at this point?
They were too much at this point, yes. But then we also had 2 heat matches, which pitted Viscera with Midian against Test and Big Boss Man, where Viscera defeated Test via disqualification.
And this was only a month after Viscera had been abducted by the Ministry, right?
Correct. We'd also had, a bit later on, Billy Gunn with Triple H and X-Pac versus Tiger Ali Singh, but that went into a no contest.
Right.
Within 40 seconds. But the difference is, that wasn't Billy Gunn's only appearance for this entire event, because he's involved a little bit later.
Yeah, well, we're getting the package now. We're getting the
Fireworks.
Vince McMahon and Stone Cold. We're getting the fireworks now. Yeah, I love the feel of these shows. I feel like it makes me feel really what's the word?
Nostalgic?
Yeah, nostalgic for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some breaking news, Matt Burns, as we go on the air tonight. If you're interested,
Go on. What's the breaking news?
Electra Lopez has been released tonight
Oh,
from WWE. So the releases keep on coming.
so that's why we haven't got a full list yet, because they're still coming thick and fast.
Because they're still coming. But that's just the first one today, if you like. Tonight for us, today for them.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting with with this event for St. Valentine's Massacre, it's basically we've got on the comms, we've got Michael Cole and the King, Jerry the King Lawler.
I love Jerry the King Lawler. This is around the time when Jim Ross is suffering from his Bell's palsy, bout of Bell's palsy. It took him off the air. He did come back and do a couple of weeks of Ross TV, which is where he had his own separate commentary desk, if you remember. And he sat on his own playing a bit of a heel character. Within the next 4 weeks, as we get to WrestleMania, that's all forgotten and he's back on the call for the main event. But it is interesting that at this point, 1999 is 26 years ago.
Yep.
That Michael Cole's there doing his thing on commentary.
Exactly.
And if you watch Monday Night Raw tomorrow night, he'll be there on commentary again.
Exactly, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. But anyway, we're going to be going into the first match, which is none other than Goldust versus Blue Dust.
Blue Dust. And this was a sign of the times, isn't it? Blue Dust. My goodness.
Now, the weird thing about it is many people have actually criticized this event, supposedly saying it was really bad, it was really awful, and everything. Now, and yet, it still had some iconic moments. And the thing is, with wrestling, you're going to have some ups and some downs and everything. But, we're not here for the ups and downs. That's probably for another YouTube show. If I'm not mistaken.
Ups and downs on the Burning Truth, mate.
We might do side to side, but that's a given. That's a given.
Yeah, Goldust. And then there's the exact same music for Blue Dust. It's interesting how this progresses as well, because in about 4 weeks at WrestleMania, and Blue Dust is the Blue Meanie, and he's accompanying Goldust to the ring. Now, this is interesting, right? Because this is like peak fandom for me. So I know everything that's going on, I think, by memory. But WrestleMania 15, which is the WrestleMania that we're getting to, is my favorite WrestleMania. I think we talked about this on the pod before.
Yes, we have.
But I'm all in for this. I'm actually genuinely really excited that we're doing it. I know this was a bit of a last minute decision to do a watch along on this particular PLE tonight, but I can't tell you how happy I am that we're doing it.
But it's, to be honest with you, I think it's great. I think it's great. It's, it's good that we are doing it, especially with the fact of the nature of the name of the event.
Yeah. I mean, it's Valentine's Day this week. Why would you not? Seems like the right thing to do, right?
But do you know what I find so weird is the actual name of the event, which is actually a callback, if I'm not mistaken, to the actual St. Valentine's Day Massacre of 1929, which unfortunately saw the end of 7 individuals, which was part of a gang war between Al Capone and Bugs Moran.
Okay, well, you definitely knew more about that than I did.
No, that's what it is. But there you go. There's a map pack for you right now.
First map pack to the night right there.
The first of many.
The first of many, and we're off. Blue Dust versus Goldust. Blue Dust, formerly known as the Blue Meanie of ECW. And he basically got the job here because Vince Russo really liked ECW and liked the Blue Meanie, right?
Yep. And the weird thing about it is, the one thing I will say with the Blue Meanie or Blue Dust, he's always been a good character. He's always been willing to do the fun stuff.
Yeah.
This was when Goldust was in is going through his Shattered Dream stage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's gone. He's been and done with the classic vintage Goldust there.
The Hollywood Goldust.
Yeah, we finished with the sort of the artist formerly known as, and we're back to a more classic Goldust character here.
Yeah. Yeah. But the weird thing about it
if
is...
there is such a thing as a classic Goldust character.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But the difference is what's so interesting is technically with nowadays and with the internet and everything, we now know that is Dustin Rhodes. The fact is he's managed to do... It's almost like history repeats itself, sort of. He's been given something that isn't, great. He's managed to not be a focus on his dad's history, and he's used this entire gimmick and situation and make it his own.
Yeah, and it's a strange gimmick, and I don't know what the conversation looked like where we got to this point about the androgynous Goldust, but I'm not mad about it by any means.
No, because the difference is he made it his own, and it actually gives credit to the Rhodes family, if you say, no matter what you give him.
Isn't it? Because he could have got over on family name and chose not to. And what's interesting is, and if you're watching along at home or wherever you're watching, the clock at the bottom, that's actually where we are right now in terms of the video we're watching live. So if you want to pause us and catch up to 8 minutes 53, 54, 55, we're watching along on Netflix. But if you're watching on DVD, Peacock, however you get your wrestling, get St. Valentine's Day Massacre on with us. But yeah, the Goldust thing, Matt Burns, where you're talking about had this family name and family history and chose not to, or didn't choose, but was in a position where he wasn't to use that in WWF as sort of to help him get over.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I was thinking about something very similar with Tony Storm this week. And I was thinking about Tony Storm being, could easily miss the moonsault there, Blue Dust.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Tony Storm and how she could very, very easily get over on Sex Appeal. Could have very, very easily got over on Sex Appeal alone and would have done a great job of it. Goldust gets the win there over Blue Dust. But her character work, Tony Storm, solely her character work, is what's making her the only thing in AEW for me that's must watch currently. Check me talking about AEW.
Yeah, well, interesting fact is, I've also seen some feedback from another podcast, from a former WWE wrestler bringing his own views into it by Stevie Richards.
Oh, yeah.
He felt as though that the whole thing with the whole Tony Storm was not exactly right because...
Shattered Dreams.
Pretty much. Ooh. Let me just refocus back where I was. But anyway, the thing is, he felt as though it was a step back for Tony Storm. Like it wasn't aggression and everything. What was the whole point of it? Well, The point was that they're telling a unique story and doing it differently. You might not always agree with it, but the difference is, I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Genuinely enjoyed it this time. Shawn Michaels in the ring, Commissioner. Shawn Michaels in the ring with Vince McMahon on Sunday Night Heat. And here came Stone Cold.
Probably a rare visit on Heat.
Well, they used to really go for Sunday Night Heat because it was on MTV before the pay-per-views in this era. So Sunday Night Heat was a priority at least once a month before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly.
And here comes the rattlesnake.
Ooh, he's looking mean. Then saying strike him because he wants to be fired. Oh,
you're getting a cage match later, mate. Just suck it up.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh,
Memphis.
Sold out Pyramid, and I will say that is a great venue.
Yeah.
So as of right now, we are now heading into the next match, which, if I'm not mistaken, it is a hardcore match for the vacant WWF/WWE Hardcore Championship between Bob Holly and Al Snow with Head.
Well, everybody loves Head. I certainly do. I'll get Head whenever I can.
What does everybody want?
Exactly. Al Snow, one of the most underrated workers in the history of pro wrestling.
And it has actually got a training school right now.
Yep.
And but if I'm not mistaken, this is Job Squad member versus Job Squad member.
Yeah.
So this is a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
He was still Bob Holly at this point. He hadn't transitioned to hardcore yet. But this was the start of this transformation. Not that it's much of a transformation. It's literally just, I have hardcore matches now, therefore I am Bob Hardcore Holly now.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, we just jumped straight into it. And there is something that if I recall this match, something that happens in this match, which Bob tries to do later on at another WrestleMania event, and it didn't quite time out quite right.
I don't remember.
But it does on this one.
Is this where they end up in the Hudson? Did they end up in some sort of river in this one?
The Mississippi River?
The Mississippi, is that what it says? Yeah, the Hudson would be New York, wouldn't it?
Yes. I'm just trying to
I don't know, because they had quite a few over this time period, so it might not be.
No, I think it was the Mississippi River, this one was. But that wasn't what I was referring to. I was actually referring to the... for some unknown reason, Bob Holly, or slash Hardcore Holly, had some sort of deal with glass jars.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. And bashing people with them.
Glass is not something to be messed with, Matt Burns.
No, it's not.
Extinguisher to the face.
Case in point, there goes the glass jar.
There goes the glass. Anything goes in these matches.
Oof. But the weird thing about it is, this is close to the crowd. Security had to be high at this point, because I'm pretty sure that they had to be aware of keeping the action away from the crowd. And it sounds, if I'm not mistaken, on the commentary, it sounds like King might be losing his voice already. Now, these days, I do miss where we used to come to an event and you saw the cameras following instead of it being like a cut to the back. Do you know what I mean?
Feel like.
Are you there, Scott?
Yeah. You can't hear me.
Oh, there we go. Oh, look. Looks like Al Snow's trying to make a call.
These matches, great for the TV. Sorry, I timed out there. These are matches always great for the TV audience. This is great to watch. I always feel like, as a fan in the audience, I feel a bit hard done to. I've paid me money for a ticket and then they buggered off.
And this is if I'm not mistaken, the second match. So we've just had the Gold Dust versus Blue Dust, which was short, into a fight that's backstage.
It with ceramic tiles now.
Yep. Which straight away says to me,
asbestos.
So, if you were someone who's paid a ticket, you just had a short match with that, come to this one, and now you've got a brawl backstage where you're having to watch it on a monitor in the venue.
Yeah, we talked about this before, I think, on Buried Alive, one of the segments on our podcast. If you're watching on the YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, The Burning Truth Live. Anyway, you see this championship belt over here. This is our pod. Anyway, you see that championship belt, it's us.
Well, the one behind me.
We break down lots. Behind you, lots and lots of wrestling talk, at least once a week from me and Matt Burns. Near fall.
Oof. But straight away, gone. Straight into
We've got something brand new coming as well, Matt Burns, haven't we?
That we do.
We're going to do a brand new series on YouTube starting soon called What If? Wrestling's What If. where we're going to start. We like to do a bit of fantasy booking on the podcast, don't we, Matt Burns?
That
we like to think we can rebook things better than the original.
But
so
I
what
feel
we've decided to do is almost like the Marvel series of What If, haven't we?
Yeah, but it's going to be a little bit different because rebooking just says it can be one way, where with What If basically says it has happened, but it's not happened for us. It's happened somewhere else. And believe me,
I think the premise of these episodes on YouTube and maybe on the podcast as well, we'll have to see whether we upload them as bonus episodes.
Yeah.
The premise is that we will both what if the same idea or the same story or timepiece or whatever. We won't be competing, but we'll both give our multiverse versions of that moment in wrestling history and what would have changed.
Well, we could even actually throw in an interesting concept as well. We could even actually say, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer Scott's What If? Do you prefer my What If? Or do you prefer what actually happened?
Absolutely. You know, we're talking things like, what if Brock Lesnar didn't break the Undertaker's streak? We're talking things like, Snow going flying into something, a fence maybe.
Chain link fence.
Mississippi River. Hey, I was right.
Yeah, you were. You called it.
Thanks for watching along. If you're watching along with us live, make sure you get your thoughts in the chat. We're currently watching Bob Holly versus Al Snow Hardcore Championship, St. Valentine's Day Massacre 99. We're currently watching it on Netflix at 18 minutes and 59 seconds.
Some barbed wire in.
Yeah, if you're watching along at home, we're currently at 19 minutes, 11, 12, 13, 14 seconds and counting. Just if you want to sync up with us. Oh, Holly's got a stop sign.
That was bad. That was a cheesy line, Michael. He hits him with a stop sign. That stopped Al Snow. And the pre-wood that broke before the swing. Oof.
I mean, that's harsh, isn't it? Bob Holly, he's out in the mud, in a wheelbarrow, in his pants.
Yeah, and boots.
And white boots. We'll never get the mud out of these boots.
Oh, they're both in white boots, aren't they? Oof. Either way, that's going to be brutal, isn't it? That's got to be brutal. I'm pretty sure this is probably where they probably plan to get multiple variations of their gear.
Yeah.
Because of stuff like this.
Because if you think this is Sunday night and they're going to be on Monday Night Raw tomorrow, they have not got time to wash and dry that gear with getting on the road and traveling to the next town as well.
Who knows? You know, they might be able to get some form of a wash and clean shortly.
I mean, only if it goes in the sink.
Yeah, only if it goes in the sink and properly cleaned with it. But never mind. almost as if it said it straight into the Mississippi River, which I'm pretty sure that's not going to be hygienic to clean your gear.
Al Snow goes straight over his shoulder.
And then getting head banged on a tire.
Oh, what a shot. Right hand from Al Snow.
Oof. That's got to be distracting as well as you're trying to plan out and you've got a camera in your face with a heavy light on it. But at the same time, you've got to have that heavy light to be able to see the action.
Yeah.
What's going on? Oh!
We hit the cameraman as well. Brilliant.
You know, is that Stu being hit or is that somebody else?
You made me hit Stu.
Oh, that's got to be an awkward landing on them bushes, them trees, aren't it? Because regardless of it, if you fall wrong on it, you can get seriously hurt. Chain link fence. Camera's looking.
Oh, pin me, pay me. The Job Squad. Love it. If you're watching along at home, we're watching St. Valentine's Day Massacre. 22 minutes now, 48, 49, 50 seconds. Get your thoughts in the comments.
Does anybody have black boots? Because they may have just lost them. Oh, wait, he's got him wrapped up.
That's it. Wrapped him up.
Huh. You want me to say it or do you want to?
It was dark. The official couldn't see.
Acceptable. It's either it's too dark he couldn't see it, or the light from the camera blinded him.
Both.
Yeah, all the above.
At the same time.
All the above. Because I believe the idea was it was meant to be the chain link to stop him from kicking out.
Yeah, but even if his arm's up, doesn't mean his shoulder's up.
But the referee didn't see it anyway. Either way, it's fine. Anyway, we have our winner, none other than Bob Holly.
Hardcore champ Bob Holly, soon to be Hardcore Holly.
Yeah, the hardcore champ, Hardcore Holly.
This is mad. Bob Holly's just had to do like a 10-minute run back to the arena to get the championship because they went all the way down to the Mississippi River.
It goes to show he's you know, you have to work on your cardio.
Well, they learned as time went on, didn't they, and started taking the belt with them in these hardcore matches.
Get me out of here. You're asking him to get you out, but you had your arm out earlier. Why don't you get yourself out? Instead of tucking yourself back in. But anyway, we digress. We have now on this, for this event, we've got a new WWE Hardcore Champion. So there we go. We've actually got a title change right there and then for this event. Is it the only one? We'll find out.
Love it.
We're now going back to the Ministry of Darkness, is it, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, the Ministry is forming at this point, as we head on to WrestleMania.
Now, what
if you want to hear an alternate take on the Ministry, you know where to go, Matt Burns. Tell the people.
Of course. There is, of course, in a certain episode of The Burning Truth, which I believe I challenged you to rebook it. But if you're not one for listening in and everything, there's another place you can actually know about it, which is, of course, on the website of theburningtruthuk.com, where you can go into the TBT blog section, which is under our contents option. And when we're in there, you can actually scroll down and click on the actual blog of it. And I will say, some prime reading.
Here comes the boss man. I much prefer this look of the big boss man in the SWAT gear. Compared to the original blue shirt gear.
Yeah. It's an updated look.
I always think of it as heel boss man.
But
when I think heel boss man, this is what I think.
The weird thing about it is, this is meant to be a villainous character, but was he a villainous character right now?
He was sort of McMahon's hired gun, wasn't he? So
no, but he was a hired gun against the Ministry of Darkness. So
yeah, it was heel versus heel. It's a bro. Swear,
oh yeah,
bro.
of course, bro.
Your fave and friend of the channel.
But anyway,
Mr. Eyeball, Mr. Bumbag, the one and only. It's Midian.
I was wondering if we were going to have to get some certain graphics to blur certain things out for him, but nope, it's not that case yet. But anyway, this. What are your thoughts on this match for this?
Forgot all about this. You know, they used to bring an eye to the ring.
You forgot he brought an eye, even though he's got an eye on his t-shirt as well.
Yeah, but I just forgot about it.
It's a bit of information. He just wants to keep an eye on the commentary team, doesn't he?
He wants to keep an eye on the eye. Midian against the Big Boss Man. What do I think about this match? To ask the question again, reform your question, Matt Burns.
What are your thoughts on this matchup of Midian versus the Big Boss Man?
I mean, we're talking at the time, 1999. We're talking lower mid carder and a mid carder here.
Yeah,
we're talking. There's not much at stake. We've obviously got the corporation, the ministry coming for the corporation as the ongoing story. This match is a bit of a nothing match.
Yeah.
For this, it's a bit of a Raw match, the Monday Night Raw match. It does help us build to that Big Boss Man Undertaker match at WrestleMania, and for that reason, I expect, although I can't remember the result here, I expect the Big Boss Man to get the win. If you're watching along at home, we're watching the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. We're currently watching on Netflix, but you can watch wherever you want. We're currently 28 minutes, 51, 52, 53 seconds in. If you want to watch along, get your comments in the live chat and we'll talk about them.
One thing I will say about Big Boss Man, when it came to them corner strikes, he always made them look legit.
Great brawler.
Oh, phenomenal brawler. Phenomenal brawler.
Kiss my ass, says the Big Boss Man.
The thing is,
having the clock on the screen really helped, actually, Matt Burns, because as the ministry segment started, my Netflix, I must not pay as much money as you, because my Netflix took me straight to a break. So as the break was over, I was able to catch up using the clock on the screen to find exactly where you were to continue watching along.
Phenomenal. Absolutely love it. The thing is, it's one of them matches where, like you said, but it's not a highlight match to what many would expect, but it's something that was necessary. But I wouldn't say it should be pay-per-view potential, would you?
No, it's a Monday Night Raw match.
Yeah.
But I think that's some of the issue with WWF at this point, WWE, as we go into 98, 99. As the war started to turn and WWF started to get wins over WCW and then, eventually stopped looking back, didn't they, as we got into 99?
Yeah.
WCW had a great undercard and a really stagnant main event scene.
Yeah.
WWF had the opposite. Had a brand new, fresh, amazing matches main event scene and not much of an undercard. So where WCW had the Cruiserweights, the Jerichos, the Benoits, the Eddie Guerreros, etc., Rey Mysterios in the undercard at this point, WWF unfortunately had Bob Holly, Big Boss Man, and Midian. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. There's some quality workers within that: Gold Dust, Jeff Jarrett, Owen Hart, etc. But as a whole, the undercard in WCW was much more exciting than WWF. And that's why you find on these pay-per-views, this is the last in your house. And I'm sure you'll talk about that at some point. But this is one of those shows where you think, actually, the undercard is weak and we're just waiting for those main events. We've got Rock Mankind and we've got Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon in a cage. And everybody is waiting for those matches.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people were saying about this event, there was it was like the only matches that were highlighted for this show with the final three is where they believe that it wokened up.
What is the third one then? So I've just talked about two. What is the third?
The third was the Corporation versus Degeneration X tag match. the tag team match, which was the
Oh, right.
corporation.
So this is, yes, because this is well into the bit of, the Shane McMahon, X-Pac, China, Kane, Triple H. Oh, my God, yeah. I forgot all about that. We're right in the midst of all that, right?
Yep. We've also got, for this event, we've got one of your favorite individuals coming a bit later. That's all I'm just going to say.
You have my attention, Matt Burns.
And it involves the WWE/WWF Tag Team Championships.
Nice.
Because, one of the individuals could probably always state, ain't he great? If that's a clue for you. But anyway, I'll leave it there because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's actually the match straight after this one.
Right, there you go then.
So we'll find out. We've also got the singles match for the WWF/WWE Intercontinental Championship of Val
Who was
Venus.
the champion at this time then? Val?
No, it was Ken Shamrock was.
Oh, wow. Ken Shamrock was the champion at this time.
And if I'm not mistaken, that feud ended up being escalated because of Ken Shamrock's family member. Sister Ryan Shamrock.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm with you.
And the match ended up also being a bit of a special guest referee match as well. But we'll get to that later.
Stop teasing me with all these things, Matt Burns.
But like you said earlier, interesting fact, the matter of fact of this, that the St. Valentine's Massacre event show was actually the last in your house of the during WWE, but it wasn't the very final one. It did get brought back in, if I'm not mistaken, I'm just getting the facts up right now for us. It was actually
notes out, yeah.
It actually got brought back on I believe it was the 7th of June 2020, which was for NXT TakeOver in your house. And what a boss man slam that was.
And out comes the nightstick. Oh, here comes the Brood, the Acolytes. And right now, Big Boss Man must feel like he's outnumbered. Because if forget the Brood, if I'd saw Bradshaw
and Farouk
and Farouk, Ron Simmons, get up on the apron, I would be running.
And then UT Undertaker. Yeah, I'm out. I'll be out. As soon as it went dark.
This isn't the Ministry music either. I thought the Ministry music had started.
No, I don't
earlier,
think it did quite yet.
Because he uses it at WrestleMania 15. It's epic.
Yeah.
But here he is with Paul Bearer.
But anyway, let's get back to the matter of fact that we were originally discussing, which was the fact that this was meant to be the possible.
I can't believe the Undertaker's walking to the ring, and you're trying to interrupt him during this fabulous entrance, this moment in time with a Matt fact.
It's a double Matt fact, of course. That's why.
You know I can mute you on this thing, don't you?
I know you can, but it's a double Matt fact. It's a double Matt fact.
Give him Bossman one. Where's the rest of the corporation? Oh,
probably tied up.
Oh
no! Here comes the first of many.
Not again. 500 pounds of viscera.
Ooh, that's going to cause some internal bleeding. And here comes the third. Oh, would you say this is a bit of a massacre?
Battering him, aren't they?
Yeah. And now dragging him out.
And I'm surprised he didn't end up joining the Ministry.
Yeah.
Because normally when this happens, they end up joining the Ministry, don't they?
Wow. There is some technicalities, but we'll discuss that if we decide to continue our watch-alongs for later events. Because, bear in mind, technically in a way, he does sort of join them later on. Corporate Ministry.
True story, that, yeah.
But anyway.
Second watch-along we've done this, actually. Well, technically third if you count this year's Royal Rumble. We did that one live, but that was a late night. But I think, second one we've done, we also did the Royal Rumble 1992. And I think we'll probably go back to 1992 at some point. And we may come back to 1999 as well, I think, following this, as we get closer and closer to WrestleMania season.
That we do. That we do. But anyway, let's get back to the double mat fact that I was going to discuss.
Well, then I'll let you mat fact it up now, yeah.
Yeah, of course, which is none other than, yes, this was the last In Your House and was almost the final one, but it ended up being revived in 2020 by NXT TakeOver In Your House, which, if I'm not mistaken, that was on the 7th of June 2020. Now, with this being supposedly final, because WWE/WWF moved to install permanent names for their monthly pay-per-views, which actually began with Backlash on 25th of April, 1999.
And Backlash 99 was a really good one.
Oh, yeah. Now, right now, we've got Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown with Ivory discussing about their upcoming match that they've got coming up very shortly.
It's sexual, baby. Absolutely love it.
You're already into it, aren't you?
Told you, mate, this is peak fandom for me. Absolutely peak fandom.
But anyway, we've now, as we've said, we've now got D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry coming down for a potential of becoming the tag team champions.
It's funny because D'Lo, this is this is the first of 2 pay-per-views in a row where D'Lo gets a tag team title shot with 2 different partners.
Yep. Now, do you remember who was the tag team champions?
At this point, no idea. By WrestleMania, it's Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart.
And I'm surprised
at this point.
I'm surprised you didn't figure out from it early when I said one of them ain't he great.
It's still Double J's at this point. That's just the thing, see. So the titles change hands so often at this point.
Exactly, and you had to be there to know who was going to be the actual champion.
A sneeze a few weeks before this, Road Dogg was the hardcore champion, and then another couple of weeks, Road Dogg's the Intercontinental champion. So it's just stuff's all over the place. And now Mark Henry's given it their sexual chocolate voice. I like Ivory as well, man. Totally underrated Ivory.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. She was
my favorite work of her was when she was in The Right to Censor, though, I must admit. And we all know I love The Right to Censor as well, Matt Beans.
Oh, that you do. But ladies and gentlemen, here comes their tag team champions.
More importantly, Matt Burns, here comes the puppies.
With Deborah.
God, where's King?
He's probably just glued at the screen. We've already got King Gordy's hoping that a brawl between the ladies happen. But anyway, either way, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I'm excited for it, right? So Mark Henry was not ready at this point, and he'd been in WWE for a couple of years, and he absolutely should have gone back in developmental. However, D'Lo Brown, severely underrated. Jeff Jarrett, one of my favorites of all time. Owen Hart, one of the biggest what-ifs in wrestling, and we may go back to this as part of our what-if series when it starts.
Definitely.
And a very young Mike Chioda refereeing this match as well.
Yes, it is, isn't it? It is.
If you've never done the D'Lo Brown head bounce, you're not a wrestling fan.
or was some certain metal on your chest or across your body.
Do you know what? Can I say something controversial here, Matt Baines? I prefer doing these watch-alongs to our normal, regular scheduled programming, especially when we do episodes and PLEs, pay-per-views from my peak fandom. This might be the best fun I've had so far doing the Burning Truth because we're watching 1999 pay-per-view.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Go on,
Nothing
Mark
wrong
Henry.
with that.
You beast.
Oof. Oh. You still wouldn't mess around with him, would you?
Oh, no chance.
No, because you full well know he could pretty much press you out the building, and
that's exactly what he could do.
Here we go. I believe this was during the time of Owen Hart was going through the stage of he wanted some respect. It was time for a change. He wasn't
enough
being caught.
Is enough, and it's time for a change. That's what it was.
And of course, he wasn't a nugget either.
I am not a nugget.
Oh, clean drop kick.
Like I say, Matt Baines, peak fandom.
Oh.
Episode 356, this one, Matt Baines, in case you're wondering. What's really interesting, though, is it's not really 356. It's probably 357. We had an episode on there that we called Bonus, didn't we, over Christmas?
That we did. That we did. This was, I will say, this was during a time when we were watching, you know, as kids, as young adults, it was just phenomenal TV, the Attitude Era.
Yeah, we should not have been watching this, though. I wouldn't let my kids watch.
Ooh. We've got Jarrett sticking the boots in.
Go on, Jeff. What do you think about Jeff Jarrett and the fact that he's probably, he announced that he was going to go for the AEW World title, and then it seems to have all fallen a bit flat. How do we feel about that?
Well, ain't he great? But the thing is, whatever Jeff is involved with, he somehow turns it into gold.
I think he's fabulous, Matt Baines, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Such a great worker, solid performer, always brings his A game. Yeah. And he is a great character. And some of his promo work has been absolutely phenomenal. And it is.
Well, the promo when he was entering the Owen Hart Memorial thing was fabulous.
Absolutely was. And the thing is, he actually made you care. Yeah, he has 100%. A way of making you care more. Whether you hate him, whether you love him, he still makes you feel something instead of it being blank. Oh, the previous match that we just had, the Bossman versus Midian.
Yeah.
You know how long that was?
Go on.
6 minutes and 19 seconds.
It's a perfectly acceptable time for the match that we had.
Exactly.
Not quite the Triple H epic we would have had on a PLE these days, though.
No, but do not find it so weird? The numbers. Look at the numbers. 6 minutes and 19 seconds.
619.
9.
I don't think that's coincidence. I think that's probably a coincidence, mate.
It is. I am going to say it's coincidence.
It's 100% a coincidence. It's cool, though. Of course it is. It's a good fact.
Exactly. But the thing is,
we're a few months out from Owen Hart's untimely death, actually, and
yeah,
really sad for everybody. And peak fandom at the time, so it hit me quite hard at the time, actually. And one of the great things was it was a month before the scheduled release of WWF Attitude on the PlayStation, if you remember. Attitude,
Oh,
and they pulled the game and they delayed it for 2 months. And you know
yeah.
what changes they made in those 2 months?
What?
So Owen Hart was going to be a heel in the game. They made it so he could only receive positive fan reactions, no matter what mode of the game you were playing.
Yeah.
We also added the in memoriam of Owen Hart at the beginning of the game too.
Yeah. That's a bit of a you know, as much as you can sit there and saying, uh, it's tough, you know, during that time, and but what a what a great performer, who is one of the rare performers who never ever became world champion.
Yeah, gone way too soon. You know, one of those 3, 4 top wrestlers that were never world champion, along with Mr. Perfect, the $1 Million Man. You know, oh, near fall there from Owen.
Yeah. The weird thing about it is, it's like with Owen, what was so interesting is, yes, you got his brother Brett, who is the excellence of execution, but Owen managed to bring his own style by learning many other different styles from different countries, which is
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal.
You imagine if he'd stayed in WWE, if he'd stayed in WWF and obviously not passed away, some of the matchups that we'd have had over the next 2 years, we'd have had
Oof.
Owen Hart versus Kurt Angle, Owen Hart versus Chris Jericho, Owen Hart versus Chris Benoit, Owen
Yeah,
Hart versus Eddie Guerrero. Another year, Owen Hart versus Rey Mysterio.
it's unbelievable when you sit there and you think about it.
And
The
how good
amount
Owen
of
Hart was. You know, when we talk about WrestleMania 20, right? So 5 years from this, we get WrestleMania 20, right? And
yeah,
at the end of that night, we've got Benoit and Guerrero as the champions in the ring.
yeah,
Yeah. You got to think that if Owen's still around at that point, he's one of those champions.
yeah. It's
Do you know
got to
what I
be.
mean? Like,
Oh, another match. Owen Hart versus Kurt Angle.
I think I said that first. Yeah.
Oh, did
Madness.
you? It's
Yeah, I
just
think so. I think that was my first one. But even so, yeah, you're right. Owen Hart versus Kurt Angle, like, it is another one for you. One you may not have thought about. If he's still in WWE 4 years later, 2003, yeah,
yeah,
because we're only, it sounds ridiculous, but we're 4 years away from 2003 here. You
yeah.
potentially get Owen Hart versus Brock Lesnar.
Which would have been absolutely phenomenal.
I think if Owen Hart doesn't pass away, there are other things in play here. Owen Hart doesn't pass away. I don't think Jeff Jarrett becomes. I don't think Jeff Jarrett does the China
Yeah,
match
yeah,
because I think their team continues. I know they were already tinkering with like the blue, etc. But I think there was a story there, and I don't think we'd have ended up with the Good Housekeeping rules match.
yeah,
I also think that doesn't lead to Jeff Jarrett leaving the WWF.
yeah. Which then could have actually brought the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, WWE would never have existed. Which would
Well,
which then
TNA certainly wouldn't have,
I was
not in
about
the
to
same way
say
it did anyway.
that's what I was about to say.
Oh,
WWE,
here
which
comes Ivory.
ended up becoming TNA,
This is what we've been waiting for. Ivory and Deborah.
face to face.
Oh, Mark picks it up.
Oh, the dreaded guitar, and
The
just
toss, the bad
then
knee, they're really clever, that.
it is. But not only that, what was interesting is the fact that he hit him, and you see him try to clean up the mess Owen Hart did. Although one thing I am going to ask is, what's the deal with the referee not asking man why there's a wreckage of a guitar in the ring?
I mean, it's nothing to do with them, is it? It's
Oh
the
look,
ref's fault
someone.
for it not being
No.
there.
Oh no, someone's broke a guitar in the ring. Did someone throw it in? Let's
Yeah.
move on.
Ain't I great?
Ain't he
Oh,
great?
JLFJ ARRETT.
I think someone's going to be very, very happy right now.
Puppies. If you're watching along with us, thanks. We're currently watching St. Valentine's Day Massacre. We're watching on Netflix, but you can watch wherever you get your PLEs, pay-per-views. We're currently at 52 minutes and 7, 8, 9 seconds. We're currently watching Ivory and Deborah have a bit of a scuffle after this tag match.
That we are. But
Jeff covering up Deborah with his championship belt.
now, what's interesting here with this situation?
So the line King just came out with.
I
don't think that belt's big enough to cover them up, Jeff.
And they get both.
Right, carry on. What was you going to say?
Right. Straight away, you completely give me you completely blow my mind just
with the puppies.
Yeah, with the puppies. But anyway, back onto schedule. Straight away from right now, we've got only now 4 matches left. 4 matches.
4 matches, and we've got a whole 2 hours to go.
Which, when you sit there and you think about it, it's like, no, it can't be. But it is.
Here's Mick, Mankind, and Kevin Kelly.
Yeah. Oof. But anyway, here we go. Ooh. The Rock on Heat taking care of Mankind.
Ooh.
Bit of softening up. So straight away, this is Mick Foley, declaring that he is going to be stopping The Rock to become WWE or WWE champion. And what a match to be doing it in. Would you believe? A last man standing match.
Yeah, and that just adds to the show for me.
It does.
I've just sent you through the draft of the image we're going to use for the podcast of this episode, Matt Burns. If you've seen it, it's very, very cool. Very similar to the YouTube link that you will have clicked if you're watching us live.
Definitely. It's quite snazzy. Can't wait to get it on.
Based on the original poster. I did think about blurring the picture of the main character on the poster out, but as he's the only character on the poster, didn't feel like the right thing to put a blue dot on his face.
Oh,
here's Val Venus.
This is, if I'm not mistaken, for the Intercontinental Championship. This was,
yeah, and this feud gets weird, man.
It was very, very, very unusual, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But you got Val. I'm just. Bear this in mind, like we said earlier. Is this appropriate for children? Oh, wait, no, this is the Attitude Era. This was the Attitude Era. If I'm not mistaken, even on Netflix, they've got this at age rating of 15, was it? In the UK?
I was watching this at 10 years old, man.
Oh, dear.
There was a porn star and a pimp on the show, Matt Burns.
Ooh.
It gets weirder, though, because Ryan Shamrock ends up with Goldust over the next 4 weeks as well, somehow. This escalates.
Hang on.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, somebody. Do you remember earlier when I said it's a special guest referee match?
Here comes Billy. So that you didn't know, that was Billy doing that this time, which never happened.
I know, which is unusual. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
So hold on. So out of the characters we've seen so far on St. Valentine's Day Massacre, how many are still active competitors? Think back to the matches we've watched.
Wow. Are we including heat and dark matches or
No,
just
just the ones that
overall?
we've watched.
Wow.
I can think of, I've got two. I don't know what you've got. I've got two.
What are your two then?
Double J and Billy.
Oh, Blue Dust is still wrestling.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Gold Dust is. I don't know if Blue Dust is.
Gold Dust is, but Blue Dust is.
So that's 4.
Al Snow still wrestles.
That's 5. Oh my God. And we're talking like, what was this? 26 years ago.
1999.
26 years ago.
Yeah. We've got D'Lo still does bits. Mark Henry, has he retired now?
Yeah.
Yes, he's retired. Jeff Jarrett still wrestles. Val is sort of semi out. I think Ken's
Chief Morley.
done. Yep.
Let's call him by his name. It's Chief Morley.
Yeah, he's done I believe Ken Shamrock's done bits, but I believe he come out and went into his back to his fighting days. We've then got The Rock, who does guest appearances now and again.
I've got some Scott statistics on Ryan Shamrock if you're interested.
Would you care to? And don't forget, we've also got the special guest who arrives later on. He does little bits as well.
Are you interested in Ryan Shamrock?
But anyway, let's get on to Scott's statistics.
So, Ryan was introduced to viewers by Val Venus, as we've just seen. It was revealed that she'd starred in the fictional film Saving Ryan's Privates with Val Venus. And she was actually only contracted to a one-night appearance with Val to begin with, but they liked her so much that they kept her on for, pretty much the majority of the year. I think she was released sometime late 99, I think the end of October, and she did make an appearance in TNA as Alicia following this. However, it never really went anywhere other than then a couple of appearances in AAA with X-Pac. But yeah, that's pretty much as far as it went. There was rumors that she was actually an adult star before she got into the wrestling business, but I can't find any detail on that. So I'm sorry to say that I can't prove that one way or the other.
Well, interesting fact for you, she ended up with some controversy a bit later on, if I'm not mistaken. Right before she decided to come away from the WWF or WWE.
October 99.
I believe she was, well, the controversy that she was involved with was I'm just trying to just double check in this just to see if she was.
Well, I mean, Bruce on his podcast Bruce Pritchard alluded to the fact that he believed she was an adult film star before getting into the WWF. But again, I find no proof on that, Matt Baines, at all.
I'm just trying to
whether
find
whether he's just working. Do you know what I mean?
Well, bear in mind, she even got her hair pulled by the Undertaker, calling her something. But I'm not going to repeat it on the air because I believe that we might get told off by YouTube.
Get the video removed after we've done all this work.
Probably.
If you're watching along with us, we've just hit the hour and 1 minute mark. So we're watching along St. Valentine's Day Massacre. We've got it on Netflix, but Peacock DVD, however you watch, we're currently at 1 hour, 1 minute and 9, 10, 11 seconds if you want to watch along with us.
And did you know that in her near the final end of her WWF/WWE days, she was actually part of a faction?
PMS. Those pretty mean sisters, man.
Of course, with Terry Runnels and Jacqueline.
That's the most 1999 stable name I've ever heard.
I know.
Bro.
Wow.
Bro, it's a stable, bro.
Now, the rumor was that she was
post.
Oof. The interesting thing about it is she was supposed to be still with the company because she got offered a 5-year contract with the company.
Yeah.
However, she refused to sign it, and instead ended up being released.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I mean, to be fair, she had no real skill in terms of in-ring work. WWE had lots of options of women that could do a very similar job, so I can see why she was released.
Oh no. There was also another angle that was offered to it as part of the storyline.
I wasn't going to bring this up, but this is Vince's first go at an incest angle, isn't it? He tried after with himself and Stephanie, with Paul Burchill and his sister. Can't remember what her name was now.
Catalina.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this guy, man. What can you do about it?
I have no idea, but bear in mind, Vince, you actually attempted one, if I'm not mistaken, on the WWF or /WWE. If everyone remembers it, but if you remember, it got quickly dropped. Does anybody remember Beaver Cleaver?
Oh, good old Chaz. He was Mosh, wasn't he? Was he Mosh?
Yes, it was Mosh. Which you got to feel for.
Beaver Cleavage. What a terrible gimmick. Top 5 terrible gimmicks, that is. Top 3, in fact, on the Burning Truth.
But the weird thing about it is, this wasn't Ryan Shamrock's only wrestling appearance. She moved over to WCW as Symphony.
I didn't know about her WCW work. I knew she'd been in TNA and AAA.
Yeah, she had some minor work in WCW. She did have some in TNA and the NWA as part of the NWA.
But at that point, the NWA was a dead brand, right?
Now, what I find interesting is, while she was under the NWA, how did he get sued by WWE? I actually question.
Probably because nobody was watching it, mate. The NWA in 1999, 2000, 2001 was an absolute non-entity, wasn't it? It was a dead brand. I mean, it still is.
But anyway, the difference is they had many stuff, but she even had some. I believe she was a valet of. Supposedly turned down a date from, Buff Bagwell.
Do you know what's interesting? I know we're talking about Alicia. I'm sorry. I'm just going to move over to talk about this. Ken Shamrock, right, stood next to Billy Gunn there. Billy Gunn's a tall dude, right?
Billy Gunn is tall.
Ken Shamrock isn't too much shorter than him, right? But this combination of kick pads and knee pads that join make him look really short.
What, really short?
Yeah, I think it's his gear as opposed to actually him. He's not actually all that short.
No, yeah.
When he was stood next to Billy Gunn, he wasn't that much short, a couple of inches, not massive.
And it does make you wonder, doesn't it?
I think sometimes what you wear can make a huge difference to how tall you are.
Do you know how tall he is, actually?
Billy Gunn?
No, Ken Shamrock.
No, was he like 5'11"?
He's 6'1".
Yeah. Yeah, and do you know what? I would have said 5'11", but he is taller than he looks.
Where
I don't think those kick pads and knee pads help him at all.
Where Billy Gunn is 6'3".
Yeah.
You know, a good solid 2 inches. And I say that almost
solid 2 inches, for those who are wondering. We're watching WWF St. Valentine's Day Massacre. If you're watching along, get your thoughts in the comments. We're currently watching Val Venis versus Ken Shamrock for the Intercontinental title. Billy Gunn is the special guest referee. And the clock at the bottom is exactly where we are watching along live. 1 hour, 6 minutes and 22, 23, 24 seconds. Really interested in your comments. Best comment of the night will win our make-believe championship belt.
Make-believe?
Yeah, well, I haven't got a physical one to give him.
I'm just wondering if I should.
They'll be crowned as Burning Truth champion for tonight.
Right, I better get onto my account and start messaging. You got to be in it to win it. But anyway, no, the weird thing about it is the look of Ken Shamrock right now, he doesn't look that like a threat. I mean,
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird because he doesn't. I think genuinely, I think it's the kick pads and the knee pads make him look smaller than he is, shorter than he is. I don't think it helps him at all.
Was this during the time when he was supposedly meant to be the world's most dangerous man?
Yeah, well, he was always the world's most dangerous man.
Yes.
But if he's supposed to be the world's most dangerous man, something we've learned from Brock Lesnar is that for me, Ken Shamrock sells far too much. And there is, although I'm not a big fan of no selling, there is certainly a time and a place for no selling.
Yes.
You know, case in point right now, if you're watching WWE TV, is in Jacob Fatu does a perfect amount of no selling to get himself over.
Now, supposedly, recently, there was some speculation of some no selling on an episode of Raw.
Talk to us about that, Matt Burns.
From Ludwig Kaiser, with his match up against a certain...
I can't see your hand then. Just say what you mean. This is a podcast, Matt Burns.
Penta,
right, okay.
I was going to do this. Unfortunately, my hand's just gone bye-bye.
Disappears.
Zero.
It still doesn't help us on the podcast. Super Lee, bro, Penta deserved better. Super Lee's becoming a bit of a regular on our broadcast. Thanks for being here again, Super Lee. We appreciate it.
Now, supposedly, Ludwig was not selling Penta's offense because, bear in mind, he'd just taken the sacrifice off him, and instead of going straight into a finish, it just got turned into like a sort of break and going straight back into heat after taking the sacrifice, which is meant to be like an arm breaker.
Can I say something controversial?
Go for it.
And you and Super Lee are going to disagree with me here because of Super Lee's comment. I've not been impressed by Penta so far.
Oh,
genuinely. And I'm not just saying that to be controversial. Genuinely, I've not been that excited by him. This hasn't been like when we saw Mysterio debut in 2002. Like, it's been completely different.
almost on cue with me as well. Almost on cue. Fighting where's they are.
No, it's been okay, but I haven't been massively enthralled by it by any means.
Bear in mind that he is adjusting to the WWE style as well.
Yeah, and I almost think they should have sent him to NXT for a couple of months first.
Which I like how you actually brought up NXT, because I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, NXT has just recently gained a new star.
Carry on.
Mistaken. Which is, of course, someone who debuted at the WWE Royal Rumble 2025 in the Women's Royal Rumble match, which is none other than the Juggernaut, Jordynne Grace.
Yeah, and that's totally the right place for it. It's short term. She's not going to be there long. But if you bring her up to the main roster, you've got to have something for her for WrestleMania. And I don't think we've got anything for her for WrestleMania. So whack her in NXT for a bit. Let her mess about with Julia and Roxanne and, Cora Jade and Fallon Henley and et cetera, Stephanie Vaquer. And then when time's right, bring her up and put her in a story.
Boom. Done.
Am I the only one who wants to see Jordynne Grace as a babyface versus Nia Jax? Jordynne Grace as a babyface versus a heel Bianca Belair? I mean, Jordynne Grace as a babyface against a heel Charlotte? I mean, come on.
So just
thinking, is writing me a check.
You know what?
These are all things that excite me. Now, you said you had the timings for this match, Matt Bins. This feels like the longest match we've had on the card so far. Venus versus Ken Shamrock. It's still going. And I'm surprised at that for a special guest referee match, because normally these are quite quickly done.
This is actually the second longest match of the entire event.
Wow, okay.
So
another chat from Super Lee. She's definitely going to get into the mix. Absolutely. Jordynne Grace, we're all really excited about it, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I am anyway. And if you don't already and you're interested in NXT, make sure you get on YouTube on a Wednesday morning. I do a live review every week of that week's NXT. Why don't I do it for the other shows? because we talk about that on the podcast. We talk about that every time we're live, and NXT doesn't get the same airtime, which is why we initially started doing the NXT reviews,
Yeah.
and we'll continue to do them as Billy screws Ken Shamrock out of the 1, 2, 3.
What's interesting with this is you just asked why this match was longer than expected. I think we now know why.
Well, it's gone long before we've even got to this dodgy counting business, hasn't it?
Pretty much.
You're telling me MMA, world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, can't get out of the ugliest looking sleeper holder ever from Val Venus? There we go.
I'm pretty sure he could get out of it and probably take out his shoulder. You know,
that's the thing, though. We're at this point, we were trying to turn an MMA star into a WWF wrestler, whereas what we should have been doing is having an MMA star within the WWF roster. Instead of turning an MMA star into a wrestler, having an MMA star on the roster and doing something different, like we did with Brock Lesnar this last time.
Well, actually, I can actually probably mention somebody who predates Brock Lesnar.
Go on.
Dan Severn.
Yeah, no, not quite the same, because they did the same with him. They wanted him to be a WWF wrestler.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey's probably the best example of where they did something different.
Yeah.
Big MMA background for both of them. Another worker with a big MMA background. Another one of the releases from this week, Sonya Deville. This one didn't surprise me at all, Matt Burns, but I am interested in your thoughts.
I am so shocked that she's been let go. Oh my. What are they going to do for that group? Really?
I did the news review last night before, whenever I did it anyway. I think it was last night. I talked about each one of the release stars and what I thought they'd do next. And I honestly don't think Sonya Deville will do something in wrestling next. I think she'll do something in acting. And I say that because some of what she's done over the last however many years for WWE, things like being the co-general manager with Adam Pearce, she was at some point, or the official. Some of the work she did with Mandy Rose, some of the work she did just as a general character, obviously leading the Pure Fusion Collective, tag team with Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Actually, I think her acting is better than her in-ring work, if I'm honest.
The weird thing about it is, you know what? That's a good point. I was just about to make it myself. She wasn't the best worker, but she was a great character. And she was a great character. And whenever she was doing, especially when she was like covering, being a authority figure, she seemed to have a bit of a, she made you care just through her words.
Absolutely. Very good heel in that respect.
Very.
But I mean, this most recent thing where she's been part of the worst stable name ever, the Pure Fusion Collective with Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. It's a good idea in principle, but it hasn't worked at all. They haven't used them well enough. For me, I still don't know why we haven't got Shayna Baszler just motoring through people. Oh, Ken's not happy with his definitely sister.
Yeah, here we go. Here comes. I believe that was one of the thingy situations where it was just the slap me, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he just put his hands on the official.
Ooh, and that's not going to go well. Roll up. 1, 2, 3.
Flips in the bird and gets out of there.
And here comes Ken Shamrock straight after Billy going, what the hell? I will say that's one of the quickest changes of feuds, isn't it?
It's funny because by the time we get to WrestleMania, Billy Gunn isn't even involved in this feud. They've subbed him out for the Road Dogg. It's bizarre how quickly all this goes on.
Now, the interesting thing is, it makes it worse, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't she? Oh, never mind. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Ryan dating someone during this time?
I don't know.
Do you know? Do you know anything about this?
No.
Supposedly, she was dating somebody. Now, I
I
believe
was 10 years old, Matt Burns. I thought this was real. I thought she was seeing Val Venus, and they just made a film called Ryan's Saving Privates.
Wow. Just wow.
Just wow.
I don't know much what to say to that one. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe, yeah, they end up losing due to the slap, and then the Billy Gunn getting involved. There was speculation that supposedly Ken Shamrock was dating somebody during this time. Now the awkward thing about it was supposedly he was dating someone by the name of Alicia Webb.
Right, I'm with you.
Yeah, so that's not awkward, is it?
I mean, it's as awkward as you need it to be.
Maybe
Vince
that's
Russo
where
actually. Go on, sorry. Carry
maybe
on.
that's where Vince got his idea of where it suddenly spurred on. Oh, I've got this idea now. No.
Vince Russo has alleged WWE of holding back Karrion Kross, which links nicely into your blog from last week, Matt Burns, and Karrion Kross and your thoughts on him. You can read that blog at theburningtruthuk.com. Hit content and blogs. But what is said about Karrion Kross is that he's holding him back because he's smarter than Triple H. On Brodown, Russo said, I won't do the voice. If you're a talent like Kross, like a Bray Wyatt, if you're a talent that's smarter than the people you're working for, you're doomed. You're doomed. And Kross is so creative that the creative team cannot touch him.
So that's a really good compliment.
Well, what I'm going to say is, who do you think might be leaking information to Vince Russo if Vince Russo's been that nice about Karrion Kross?
Or how much has he been paid to say that?
Nah, man. Karrion Kross is friends with Russo. That's what I get from that.
Potentially. But
potentially. Come on, Batbeards.
I'm not going to, you know what? Deep down, personally, I feel as though as much as saying, Karrion Kross is being held back. If anyone has actually read my blog, is he really being held back right now? Or
it's a great take. I thought it was a really interesting read.
Or is he
Super
being...
Lee says, hoo-hoo, ha-ha.
Or shall we deeply say he has been maneuvered into a favourable position and the timing's just not right yet? Why rush it?
And that's it. What Triple H has done a really good job of, I think, since taking over the booking is he's been putting people into the right places, ready for the opportunity to come for them to take that. So, for example, Jey Uso, he's done a really good job over the last 12, 18 months of putting Jey Uso into a position that when the time was right, striking.
Yeah. And not
Jey
only
Uso's lost 6 title matches in the last, world title matches in the last 2 years, 3 years. Doesn't matter because he's been ready for the right opportunity.
Exactly.
I can think of a few more examples as well, probably. Chad Gable, Kevin Owens, just kept him in the right position for the right amount of time, ready for, right, it's your turn to do something now. AJ Styles, Backlash France.
Yeah. Exactly. That, you know what? Boom. You just hit it there. The fact is, I feel as though what's so interesting is since we've gone through the whole Triple H era and everything, the fact that we could get glimpses of Karrion Kross. Bear in mind, Karrion Kross wasn't in the Royal Rumble, was he?
And it's not just that, Matt Baines, there's always going to be people that aren't featured. And there's always going to be people who aren't in the top storyline. If you featured everybody on the roster, or if you feature Karrion Kross, who loses their spot right now?
Exactly.
Because you have to make that decision.
But you know what was so clever about it?
Go on.
Did you watch on X Karrion Kross's tweet?
I didn't.
Or should I say, he actually put out a post of him at he was at some curtains listening to Sami Zayn's entrance in the Rumble. And then it cuts to when Sami Zayn gets eliminated. He just goes, how disappointing. And he's doing that
DX.
subtle mind game, which is great. But yeah, here comes
My favorite
DX.
version of DX this time. I know we've just lost China to the corporation, haven't we? But for me, the whole Triple H, X-Pac, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, China, Tory, that's sort of my core DX group. I don't think we've got Tory at this point, but it doesn't take long.
It's not long after.
I think Tory joins DX when Triple H and China leave DX.
I think it might be. But we then get Kane transitioning from the corporation to...
Correct. Yeah.
So there's
the heavily rumored green Kane that never actually happened.
That could be a what if in its own right.
This is weird, isn't it? Looking at Triple H now with long hair and no beard just looks strange. So used to him having a bald head and a big beard now that seen Triple H back in the day. Because it's such a drastic change, isn't it?
I'm just looking at it right now. I'm just thinking, as you said, I'm like, what? I forgot that's Triple H.
And, we talk about the impact the NWO had in terms of merchandise and those T-shirts.
Yep.
If those DX Suck It tops had been for sale in the UK,
done.
Yeah, and my mum would have let me buy one. If it didn't say "Suck It" on it, I reckon I would have had so many. Like so many more kids would have had those T-shirts. The issue was it said "Suck It" on it. The NWO never had anything sexually vulgar on the merchandise.
The funny thing about it is if they were sold, I can imagine many of the T-shirts being confiscated at school.
Well, they were sold because I remember a friend of the show and Dave Dalvecchio, had one of these as a kid. Because obviously we grew up around the corner from each other, didn't we? But the problem was it had "Suck It" on it, so my mum and dad never let me have one. That's what I was trying to say. If you're watching along, we're currently at 1 hour, 24 minutes, 47, 48, 49 seconds, and it's time for the Big Red Machine.
I feel that this was like peak Kane era.
Luke. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is where
people start saying Kane is their favorite wrestler.
Out of pure fear. Out of pure fear that he could chokeslam you through the ring.
I reckon 1 in 10. It's Steve. that does happen on this show, I think.
What?
Yeah, instead of saying it's Kane, somebody shouts, it's one of the commentators. I think it shouts it's Steve. That's I missed that actually. Super Lee. Just fill me in though, Super Lee. Is that this show? Have I just missed it? Because that's one of the best botches of all time. Really, really funny. I don't know if it was on this show. I'm thinking now, is it on this show or not? Fill us in, Super Lee. Was it on this one or was it on a different one?
But
it is one of the best botches I've ever seen. It's Steve. Oh no, Super Lee's just adding it in for laughs. I didn't miss it. That's good. I think Super Lee, so far, that is comment of the night for me.
It's Steve. Yep, it is. It's got to be. It's got to be. Now, I find funny is the fact that the name Kane was supposed to be involved with Undertaker's name, if I'm not mistaken. It was rumored to be Undertaker's first name, Kane the Undertaker.
Kane the Undertaker. Well, it was for the first couple of appearances, I think. Matt Baines, can you just take the wheel for a couple of seconds for me? I'll be back.
Yeah, that's fine. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. But anyway, with that, Kane wasn't existed, but they decided to upscale and bring something new to the table with the whole brother. Undertaker's got a brother, which I thought was a great dynamic and way to introduce Kane. Now, interesting matter fact for you: not many people know that Kane at one point actually had a cape. What happened to it? Probably Edna Mode probably got involved and said, "No capes, no capes." Pretty much. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are now just getting down to this tag match with Shane McMahon at the commentary table. Triple H starting off with Kane. He's ducking and diving, getting some strikes in. Boom! Ducking, he's making sure to use the speed. But what I find interesting in this match is the fact that we've got Kane and Triple H wearing red and black gear, right? Triple H and Kane look like a tag team, even though I would have expected Triple H to be wearing green to match with X-Pac, and China just wearing black, which does suit with Kane, but there's only one guy wearing the DX colours, and it's ironically not a Triple H, which is surprising. And it is. But here we go. Here we go. Ooh, straight to the face. But I think this was a great era where we got, the whole storyline of DX with the corporation. We had him switching and churning, because the thing is, if I'm just trying to remember if this is the one where Triple H actually ends up siding with the corporation. That's what I'm just trying to remember if it was or not. Was it? I'm just trying to remember if it is. I believe it might have been. Which, if it is, it was certainly interesting, but we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Police says yes. I'm not sure what to. Yes.
Have you?
Says, Kane, tag me now. Then comes China. Super Lee's got a really interesting question here, Matt Burns. This is one that might take a few seconds. Should Stephanie be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame along with Triple H, or on her own another year? What do the lads of TBT think? She's got to go in.
She's got to go in
for the work she's done, not just as part of the branding team for WWE backstage, also for what she's done in the creative team over time, and for specifically her work as a heel character over the last 20 years. A phenomenal TV character.
I don't think just a heel work was to question as well. I believe her face work was as well when she was in charge, when she was the general manager of SmackDown as well.
Yeah, not as impressive, but good.
Not as impressive, but it was still entertaining.
I suppose there's two parts to this question, Super League. The first part is, do we think she should go in the Hall of Fame? I'm a yes. So we're both a yes. So we agree that Stephanie McMahon should definitely go into the Hall of Fame. The second part of the question is this year or another year? Another year.
Another year. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Definitely.
She's not going to. The thing is, Super League, for me, she's not going to headline a class, a Hall of Fame class. She's not that level of character. Whether she should or not is a different argument, but I don't think she will. When we've got the likes of Lex Luger, when we've got the likes of Macho Man Randy Savage, when we've got the likes of Triple H, I don't think, genuinely don't think she'll headline a class.
Yeah.
But she will go in at some point, not this year. I think probably wait until she's a bit older.
She should go in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. 100%. We're agreed that she should go in. And Super Lee agrees. Same. Cheers. There you go. We answered your question. Happy days.
It's an honest opinion. The thing is, regardless of it, she is a phenomenal.
Here we go. Vintage Kane into the top rope for that big clothesline.
Straight in. But as I was saying, as you were a bit busy, Scott, have you noticed in this match that actually most tag matches, we normally have individuals wearing the same colours, don't we?
Yeah, I heard what you said about Triple H wearing the red gear. I think, do you know what? In 1999, I don't think it was thought about. So
No,
many
but
of them had one. So many of them had one set of gear. But I get what you're saying.
No, but Triple H did actually have green gear.
Yeah,
because if I'm not mistaken, in the vignette before we got to this match, he was wearing it.
I just don't think it was a consideration in 1999.
No, but the weird thing that blows my mind about that interesting thing about it is, back then it didn't even occur to me. Now because of the fact that
That's because times have changed, Matt Burns. It is. It's because times have changed, and that is more of an issue now than it probably was in 1999.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, again, the other reason why it probably wasn't a big issue for you then is because you were about 25 years younger, 26 years younger, and you knew these characters inside out. You knew that Triple H was with X-Pac. You didn't need him to wear the same color to explain it to you.
Exactly.
Shane McMahon on commentary. If you're listening to him, he's absolute gold. Super Lee, if you're still watching along, mate, are you watching along with us, or are you just listening to us talk about it?
And are you and here's another question for you: are you a fan of Shane McMahon commentary? Oof.
Spock and Triple H trying to go for the double suplex on Kane. There he goes. And this is where we get the Kane set up.
Yep.
Super Lee's watching along. Says Shane is money. Thanks, Super Lee.
Double DDT. Shane has always been money. He has. I will say this with Kane.
Double clothesline sending Kane to the outside. Lands on his feet.
The fact that he could do that so smoothly.
Kane and The Undertaker. It's very, very hard as well to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting? It's not interesting. It's just I find it interesting. It's how underrated I think X-Pac's been for his entire career.
Yeah, and straight into the sock onto Shane McMahon.
And that is an interesting moment in the feud there, because that is the moment when that leads to Shane McMahon taking the European title from X-Pac.
Oof. The counter.
I think you might be a little bit in front of me, Matt Burns. Are you still at 134, 42, 43, 44?
I'm just there. I've just recorrected it for you now. Where are you about now?
I'm gonna sink at 135.03, 2 and 3. So I'm synced back up now to the time on the screen.
Yep, I am. Now,
Tim White on the call ref in here. Tim White, most famously Andre the Giant's manager, if you like, agent, helper.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, do you want some current news recently? Recently happened. I believe let's discuss the fact that we had Chris Jericho with his rock and wrestling tour.
Oh yeah, I watched a video on YouTube. I wonder if you've watched the same one.
I have a feeling. Does it involve an 8-man tag?
Whoop, 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 whoop. My name
is
absolutely love. Formerly known as Enzo Amore and Big Bill.
Oh, the real one. I know he still goes under Enzo.
Does he?
He just does it in a different way. He doesn't use the word Amore, just Enzo. Yeah. So, and what was genius?
Them two are a big what if for me in WWE, because if they continued, they could have done really. And I know they split up to try and push Big Cass at the time, and Enzo ended up having a really good run in 205 Live. However,
neither of them.
The tag was the draw. Similar to the New Age Outlaws, the tag was the draw.
Yeah. They got something working. They thought, oh, let's see what they can do individually. Broke it and then just didn't think.
And they should have put it back together.
Oh, we broke it. Let's just get rid of the pieces instead of fixing it. And it's like, why?
Because the place would have gone nuts for putting them back together. If they'd have put them back together on a Monday Night Raw, similar to when they split up the Dudley Boys, right? So they split up the Dudley Boys, Reverend Devon, etc. When they just sent Devon in at Survivor Series dressed in Dudley gear to do the 3D and give Bubba a hug, it was like it never happened and we just forgot about it because we were so happy to have them back together. They should have done the same thing with Enzo and Cass. Exactly. They should have had Enzo getting attacked on Monday Night Raw by a tag team, Big Cass come out, make the save, and they hug each other and everything is right again.
And calling their opponents soft.
Yeah. The next week, them and Carmella come back out, do the promo, and it's like nothing ever happened.
Exactly.
That was a missing piece as well. When they got to the main roster, they didn't add Carmella into the mix. They took her separately, didn't they? And she was an integral part of it for me.
And the weird thing about it is, they kept us there saying, but they could turn their villain. They could turn their villain. It's like, no, they don't need to. It was a good trio. It worked.
And now we've got the. Here we go. We've got the comeback now. X-Pac on the comeback. Going to go for that hot tag to Triple H.
Straight in. I was saying earlier, is this the one where Triple H joined the corporation right now?
No. No, you're about 5 weeks early.
I'm about 5 weeks early.
Yeah. That happens at Mania. China needs to hurry up if we're going to do this hot tag properly. Oh!
I will say that was what are your thoughts?
So China's still the legal man, so Kane doesn't have to take the fall, that isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, big right hand. Socks are in the mouth.
I'm just trying. Where are you exactly right now?
Remaining 1 hour, 12 minutes, 33, 32, 31.
Right. So what's happening on your screen right now?
I've got Triple H picking China up out of the corner. China giving him a kick in the gut. X-Pac and Kane fighting outside the ring.
Keep going.
Irish whip. Triple H reverses China. High knee. Triple H high knee on China.
There we go.
It's time for the pedigree. Oh, but Kane gets in, pulls down that rope.
There we go. We're back in sync.
That happens from time to time. That's why we've got the clock on the screen. If you're watching along with us, make sure you're watching with us at 1 hour, 40 minutes, 6, 7, 8 seconds, or if you're watching or listening along on the podcast. X-Pac with the Bronco Buster on China. Really easy to bounce.
But if you're X-Pac, just make sure to protect your sphincter.
China's been left alone in the ring. So now everyone's gone except China. Great finish.
Oh.
I love the finish to this match. I remember it now like it was yesterday.
You remember it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
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 Takes a good choke slam, Triple H.
Always does. Where's the ref?
And that is why China's still the legal woman.
Yep. Which is great because it pushes that narrative for like you said, for WrestleMania.
Corporation beats DX.
And if I'm not mistaken, we are going to go into the final two highlights matches of the night. Because this was one of them. So we're now down to two matches. And if I'm not mistaken, we are at 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 8, 9, 10 seconds.
Super Lee says, love the watch-alongs. You wrestling hooligans make it fun and new again.
We try our best. We try our best.
This one's Super Lee. It's 26 years ago, and I remember some stuff, but we don't remember everything. So some of the stuff that's going on, it's almost like a first watch to us. Yeah. There are certain events that we've never seen that we'll go back and watch, or at least one of us won't have seen. We're also thinking about we've toyed with the idea of doing recent stuff, not just WWE. So we did the Royal Rumble. We've been thinking about maybe doing an episode of Dynamite or Collision. The worry is that I will spend the entire thing just trashing it. That's the worry, and I don't want to be negative.
Yeah, we were.
We lads.
But the thing is, if something is bad, and yes, a good case earlier is some of the matches that we had earlier. It wasn't phenomenal. Some of the bits that happened, but yes, we can. It's not always perfect, and I can see what Scott's worried about is the fact that we don't want to be too negative. But at the same time, me personally, I believe in the concept of is if it's really bad, then it should be called out for it because we want it to be better. It should, it should be better. Should be.
Absolutely.
Or if necessary, if you want to get around that loophole, Scott, we could always watch some older material.
I still don't know if it'd be any good.
Exactly. I think Super Lee just hit the nail on the head just with the most recent comment, if I'm not mistaken.
Call it like you see it. That's why I like you guys. Yeah, we try to, Super Lee. Absolutely.
The thing is, in some cases, we have to call it like it is because, and what's interesting to this day is that a while back when we mentioned Nia Jax, the topic of Nia Jax, to me, years ago, I would have just said, no, should not be wrestling, shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. Now, I can't wait to see her on TV, on the shows, because she has been absolute quality. And it just goes to change that if some hard work and some prosperity can be pointed out and done, anything's possible and can get better.
Absolutely. Super Lee, do you follow us on the Facebook? If you do or you don't, mate, just send us a message on the Burning Truth Facebook page, and we'll give you a shout out following the watch along, mate. You've been absolutely fantastic watching along with us tonight.
The thing is, we always appreciate any and all comments, and it's always great that we're always getting some, quality. If you've got, or better yet, if you've actually got any questions you want to ask us of this event, future events, or any current stuff that's going on, throw them out there. We aren't afraid to answer them while we're doing a watch along.
Mankind is the WWF champion.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the event where things changed, if I'm not mistaken, between WWF/WWE and WCW. That was the match where the comment of, that'll put a lot of butts in seats happened.
Yeah, and I always forget. I'm just going to do a quick bit of research. But something happened the same night.
You're just checking. No, don't worry. But the weird thing about this entire feud that they had, it went from that Mankind winning the championship to the Royal Rumble, which you sat there and you thought for the I Quit match, could that get any more barbaric? Could they escalate it? And yet these pair found ways to continue the feud
right
in great ways.
So at the same time that this was happening, so for us it was Mankind versus The Rock, and Mankind won the WWF title on Monday Night Raw. That all the butts and butts in seats. Over on WCW Nitro on the same night this was happening. So it was actually a rematch between Kevin Nash and Goldberg for the title after Nash had beat Goldberg and ended the undefeated streak. So it was the rematch of that match. And yet still people all went over to WWF because of that comment, potentially.
Yeah.
Madness.
Straight away.
We'd had the Royal Rumble match. We'd had the match on Raw. We've also had, I'm not sure if we've had half-time heat at this point as well, whether we have or not.
They just covered it where you just used the forklift on him.
Yeah, so we've had half-time heat.
And then this is
sort of their last match now.
Yeah. This is the championship had gone from Mankind to The Rock at the Royal Rumble, from The Rock back to Mankind, involving these, the halftime hit, and now we are at the last man standing match at St. Valentine's Massacre. So for this match, I believe that Mankind is the current holder of the championship, correct?
I don't believe so.
No, I believe he is.
Is he? Is he the champion at this point?
Mankind is the champ.
That's what I mean, man. I mean, I remember certain things like it was yesterday, and other things just totally over my head.
Yep. Oh,
Bob Backlund there.
I was about to say that there's a rare visit. But yeah,
well, all the stars come out for Sunday Night Heat, Matt Burns.
Was that Shicky Baby?
I don't know.
It was. It was Shicky. That's brilliant. Love it.
Yeah, as if these two haven't already beaten the absolute crap out of each other.
Exactly.
We're now doing last man standing.
So, and I Quit didn't end it. A halftime hit show didn't end it.
You smell what The Rock is cooking. I like heel corporate Rock. I can't help it. In his tracksuit because he's just had his chest operation.
Ah, yes, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, he'd had his implants, hadn't he? And he was wearing his tracksuit so people wouldn't see the scars. By the time we get to WrestleMania, he was back in his trunks. But at this point, yeah, he's just hiding his scars, etc., with this tracksuit.
But the funny thing about it is, he was hiding his scars. But by doing this, he actually added more to his character.
Super Lee, good stuff. Thanks, Super Lee.
Always good to hear. Always good to hear. The thing is, we've always got interesting facts, and with this was The Rock. It's a loop that many can sit there saying, but that's not The Rock. It's like, but no, this is corporate Rock.
Yeah, and, we were doing really well with Sing Along with The Rock at this point. The whole presentation of this heel Rock was fabulous, and I understand that people were getting behind him in the crowd, and that's why we turned him just after Backlash this year in '99. But this run between Survivor Series '98 and Backlash '99, where we get this version of heel Rock, I think it's my favorite version of The Rock. Personally, it's my favorite. I like heel Rock, babyface Steve Austin. Kurt Cobain would say corporate Rock still sucks. Very good. What? Kurt Cobain would say that. Well, Kurt Cobain wouldn't say anything. Kurt Cobain thought he could fly.
Wow.
That got dark quick, did it? That got dark quick. Well, yeah. Do you know what, Super Lee? That may have taken over as my favourite post of the night. It's Steve was good, but Kurt Cobain would say corporate rock still sucks. Might be my fave.
Wow. I'm just trying to
Vince doesn't
think.
know what to say.
What do you say to that?
We talk about Mankind's fabulous entrance music.
Oh, yeah,
and then
of
it's so
course.
simple yet so fantastic.
Would you like an interesting fact about Mick Foley right now?
I would love one.
And it actually involves a cartoon.
Okay.
Has anybody ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
No, I've seen Avatar, the Pandora film.
No. Well, in the Avatar, that Last Airbender, the cartoon, the good one. I'm not on about the live action film here, right?
Okay.
There was a character on there called the Boulder, right? Now, most people would have assumed the Boulder should be played by The Rock. Interesting fact, it wasn't. It was, however, played by his current opponent in this match, Mick Foley.
Ah, right, okay.
And the interesting thing about it is, Mick Foley was on a plane ride and he saw a young fan watching it.
Yeah.
And you can see them watching all the episodes. And they were just getting past the episode where the Boulder is in it, getting beat up. But he does it so funny, and he just goes, as you got the signal off the parents. It's like, yeah. They knew who Mick Foley was. They're like, yeah, sure you can. But what they didn't expect was, instead of mentioning that he's Mick Foley who's beating The Rock for the WWF/WWE Championship, you watch Avatar? I like Avatar myself. But do you know who played the Boulder? No. Well, in fact, I was the Boulder. And does the voice, and the kid just looked up in awe. In that moment, he says, "It didn't matter whether I beat The Rock for the WWE Championship."
Yeah, no, because they was happy that he was on the Avatar, the Airbender. I do want to talk about Mick Foley while we're here, though. I'm going to ask you and Super Lee and anyone else that's watching along, or if you're watching back at a later date, please put in the comments. What is your favourite version of Mick Foley? Take a few minutes to think about it while we're watching the action. But Mick Foley chasing The Rock up the ramp towards the entranceway, giving him a shot to the back. I say ramp, there's no ramp, just up the entranceway.
As good as Dude Love was, and I can get, he was many people's bag baby, and he was entertaining. During some years of going through a funk soul brother method, I can sympathize with Dude Love, but I would say it's not Dude Love for me. Mankind was entertaining when he became lovable.
Yeah, so this version of Mankind,
yes,
as opposed to 1996, 7, 8.
Yeah, definitely. But I felt as though his past version, his heel version, was a highlight because you got some great matches like when he was against Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, Undertaker.
Yep.
Wheeler and Brawls, etc. Yeah.
But for me, my favorite version of Mick Foley has to be Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack. Which version of Cactus Jack, though? Because there are a few even of that. I'm going to guess early 2000s Cactus Jack, just before that retirement, the feud with Triple H. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
He sold it for me.
Yeah.
He sold it for me because, but at the same time, as much as we got the past Cactus Jack, right?
The WCW, ECW version, yeah.
Yeah, and he was entertaining. And he was. Or even though he even did a job as Jack Cactus.
Yeah.
Briefly.
You know what's interesting is that is what you're talking about here, that run leading up to his retirement, that Cactus Jack run. That's 12 months from what we're watching right now.
Exactly.
We're talking 25 years ago.
Which is scary.
Yeah. I think we should do a watch long in a couple of weeks and No Way Out 2000 because that is 25 years ago.
I think that's a good call.
Go from one of my favorites to one of your favorites.
Yeah, because that match was absolutely, it was great, but it was also,
was that the Hell in a Cell?
That was the Hell in a Cell. No Way Out was Hell in a Cell. But then again, the Royal Rumble one that they had, the Royal Rumble match was absolutely epic as well.
Yeah.
And I believe that was actually one of my favorite Royal Rumble events.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah, absolutely epic. Some great matches. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that even Triple H went through some rough moments during that Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, that's the one that features. Is that the one that features the pedigree on the thumbtacks?
Yes, it is.
Or drawing pins, as I call them. Why can't we just call them drawing pins? Again, if you're watching along, please let us know in the live chat what is your favorite version of Mick Foley. I'm really interested. I'm not giving my favorite version until somebody's given their favorite version in the chat.
Anybody? Come on, fire it off. I want to hear Scott's. I want to hear it. Whole business here right now, isn't it?
Now that Vince McMahon's gone, do you think we'll ever see Mick Foley in WWE again as a regular character? One of the main reasons he decided to leave commentary was because of the pressure of having Vince on the headset.
It's a possibility, but at the moment, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's actually doing some much needed, using some much needed love to OVW.
True story, that, which is why I asked the question.
Of course. But the thing,
if you're watching along live with us, Matt Burns, we're currently coming up on the 2 hour mark. We're actually at 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 2, 3, 4 seconds. If you're watching along, if you're listening along on the podcast this week, Valentine's Day Massacre, thanks for listening along. We do these live on YouTube. So if you want to see us while we're doing this, you can visit our YouTube page at the Burning Tree 251 and find us on there while we currently watch Mick Foley as Mankind do his version of the People's Elbow.
Which I'm calling the Mankind Elbow. Oh, no. The elbow for all mankind.
That's it.
I'm sticking with that one.
Mr. Elbow.
Mr. Elbow.
It was right there, Matt Burns, and we missed it. It was right there.
But then again, with Mick Foley, he's got so many injuries, you could probably sing head, shoulders, knees, and toes to him.
I mean, maybe.
Ooh.
Super Lee, you guys are on fire. Don't forget, Super Lee, send us a message on the Facebook. We want to give you a shout out after this, mate, for being such a good listener.
But I'm also interested to find out.
Certainly going to win the Burning Truth Championship for the night.
Oh, pretty much.
It's not a real championship. It's not a physical championship, though, Super Lee, I'm afraid. It's metaphorical.
But at the moment, I'm also interested to find out Super Lee's favorite version of Mick Foley.
He's definitely got one. But I'm not giving my version until somebody else does.
Straight away.
Super Lee with his championship.
But right now, this match is absolutely brutal between both of them. And I will say, many can sit there and saying that the fact that The Rock wore, trackies, to hide certain scars and everything. Mm-hmm. How many people would go through an operation and still be wrestling?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he's getting the push of a lifetime right now.
Oh, yeah.
Rock on commentary.
That is peak commentary. Rock on commentary. He was always entertaining.
But I used to like it when he did it at WrestleMania, and then it backlashed, didn't he? Not long after this, where he takes a camera and starts talking to him through the camera. That's very good.
Yeah. I remember when he did it with the Stone Cold Steve Austin with the camera. If you remember that one.
Got another chat from Super Lee. Honestly, as a mark, Mick, right after the screw job, he really cares about the business and what we as fans get and see. I love that. Absolutely love it. Mine's not that thoughtful at all, Super Lee, but I will give mine because I promised. My favourite version of Mick Foley is Commissioner Foley. I loved Commissioner Foley.
I didn't think he was. I did not even think he was in play.
Commissioner Foley is my favourite version.
I'm calling cheat.
I also like Legend Killed Mick Foley, which is where he comes back after being spat in the face and kicked down the stairs by Randy Orton and eliminates him from the Rumble. I also include Legend Killed Randy Orton with Legend Killed Mick Foley with the match with Edge as well. So that is another favourite version of Mick Foley, like retired Mick Foley almost. But
Co-hardcore champions.
Pardon?
Co-hardcore champions. Oh, don't you remember that? He actually supposedly reactivated the hardcore championship so that him and Edge could be co-hardcore champions.
Oh, right, okay. But yeah, Commissioner Foley is my favourite version of Mick Foley by a country mile.
I never even thought about. I thought you just meant active wrestler.
Hey, but I just said, what is your favourite version of Mick Foley?
And the scary thing about it is, as I've just said that, it's just, wow. I can't fool you. You got me.
What you'll notice about this, Matt Burns, is just watching the WWF in this era, is there's nothing on the mat. No advertisements on the mat, which is new for this year. Well, not new for this year, new for last year, I suppose, with the Prime sponsorship. But now we're getting, regular sponsorships on the mats, aren't we?
Yeah.
What do you think? WCW used to do this back in the day, but this is new for WWE. Vince always used to say that the mat was sacred, as Bruce said on his podcast. But now Vince has gone. They've opened it up as a branding and advertising proposition, obviously making them a lot of money.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
It depends. It depends on really if they've got the brands on the canvas and everything, right? Does that mean we're going to get something less branded on something else, less adverts and everything, or?
I don't know, because we've still got this. In fact, I would dare say we've had more things like character integration advertisements. For example, LA Knight and Randy Savage on Slim Jim. Yeah, is he with Bianca Belair? Is it LA Knight?
Jey Uso.
Oh, Jey Uso. Yeah, there's been a lady on there as well. One of the
Bianca Belair.
Yeah, it was Bianca. Yeah, on the. On those, but we used to see, things like that for like Cricket Wireless, etc. as well, didn't we? Charlotte Flair talking to the Cricket Wireless mascot as they both go tumbling out of the ring.
The weird thing about it is not many people know that clothesline variation that Mick just done. Mm-hmm. Many actually dub that the Cactus Clothesline. The Cactus Jack Clothesline.
I'm all good.
What was that?
So as long as he doesn't lose an ear on the ropes, I'm all good.
The thing is, it always looks vicious. Always.
Mankind gave for the pile driver.
That he was. And the interesting thing about it is, do you know that infamous pile driver he does?
Yeah.
Sami Callihan actually is dubbed one of his finishes the Cactus Jack Driver 91.
Nice. Very good.
He's even added like a year on the end to try and give it extra power.
It's cool. Well, finishing moves do have extra power if they have a year attached to the name.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm just waiting for the the Stunner of 92 or Stunner of 94 or something.
2005 was the year I made my debut. Sky was Stunner 05.
Here we go.
And for that pile driver.
Instead,
no. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, his leg on the ring bell table.
And on the steel chair as well.
He needs to have a word with himself, Mick Foley, because it gives me the yips. Oh,
he is an individual. He might not be the most
an individual. He's a bloody machine.
Someone can sit there and say,
take that much punishment. Oh,
someone could sit there and say right now that you could be a prima donna, an Adonis body and everything. But Mick case in point,
of a biscuit.
Straight away.
The Rock throws the steel stairs out of the ring onto a lifeless Mankind who's lying outside the ring in front of the commentary table, and just the way those stairs hit him. Oh,
if anyone ever
I don't like watching these matches now. At the time, I loved watching these.
Yeah,
and now on reflection, I don't like watching them.
maybe because that's just from own experience, from what you might have been involved with.
I've never been involved in anything like that.
No, I just meant just protecting your body at all times. For me, during this time, I used to watch like, get him. Now, because I've wrestled myself, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, relax, calm down. For me. Corporate elbow. If I'm not mistaken, even the camera's picking up that Foley's panting right now. Like I said earlier, as you just said, he is the most electrifying man. He's meant to be a heel, and the crowd is copying him still. The fact that we've got The Rock on the mic being very, now we've got some rock singing.
Impromptu rock concert. What was the most surprising release for you this week, Matt Burns? I know I said mine was Isle of Dawn because I was surprised that only one of them had been released. Not that I wanted to see either of them go. And I think, I think Alba Fire on her own will do great things in WWE, but I was surprised that Isle of Dawn went.
Isle of Dawn was a big shock. I think you might have already stolen the only one I'm so surprised of.
Not surprised at the Good Brothers?
No. I'm not.
I was a little bit. I was surprised at AOP as well, because Triple H bought them back when he started booking.
Yes, but for me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of AOP.
No, I know. But again, we could have had, the tag matches that we could have had just from those two teams, thinking about the War Raiders.
Yeah. The thing is, it's never great when you hear that someone's being let go or anything like that. It's never good news. But at the same time, at the moment in time, is this year going to be the year that we have less hires from WWE?
I mean, we've already done quite a lot, haven't we? If Nikki Bella's back, if Trish Stratus is back, if we bought in the Motor City Machine Guns, we've bought in Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair's back. Alexa Bliss is back. Like new signings.
That's what I'm saying. But the problem is, them new signings are now going, and now, you know, as we get these new signings, now we're getting these releases. I'm surprised someone hasn't gone, well, we just got some new wrestlers, but why are they going? Probably because the new wrestlers who are arriving.
And I'm going to ask a question now, Matt Burns, and it's not a loaded question by any point. And it is a difficult subject for us to broach as to middle-aged white blokes. But there's a lot of talk online about Triple H not pushing superstars of colour, and the fact that a lot of the superstars, again, that were released were people of colour.
Some are, some aren't, and it depends on what are they doing. Now, at the same time, is when you said you were surprised by the Good Brothers. What's interesting about that is the fact that one of them is technically injured at the moment. So that's quite rare that someone's being released while injured.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what have they been doing with them lately?
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. But that isn't the question I asked.
I'm not too sure what to say
And
on
if
it.
you're not, I was going to say, if you're not comfortable answering that,
No.
I find it really difficult to approach it as well.
For me, myself, I'm not too sure as of yet, but it is something, if it is being noticed, it should be looked with a bit of a close eye and addressed. Because if that is the case, then that should be corrected and handled with the correct matters.
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with some call-ups. So we've got some very strong characters within the women's division that are women of colour. Bianca Belair, Naomi, Jade Cargill, to name a few, Nia Jax, only to name a few.
Ash Legend.
Yeah. In NXT, our next batch of superstars, we've got some fabulous workers that are men of colour. We've got Javon Evans, Obafemi. We've got Trick Williams. Carmelo Hayes hasn't long come up. So I suppose I'm going to wait and see on this because I don't want to call out anybody for being racist.
Yeah.
But it has been noticed online, and I wonder if this rumor, if you like, let's call it a rumor, or this opinion starts to gain traction and gain momentum. It's a really bad look for WWE. Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up and talk about it. Really, just seen on the screen, Mankind and The Rock gone to double count out, last man standing down, so double 10 counts.
So basically, a rare finish. But the crowd are not happy with it, shouting a certain line. Now, both of them, because watch. Boom!
Yeah. It's each other with chairs. They both go down. The Rock bounces off the middle rope. Quite comical, that is, actually, watching The Rock go down. Still haven't got back up.
So right now, Mankind is still.
We get a rematch on Raw then. I don't know where this goes. Here we go. Super Lee's weighing in. It's a sports business that has more of a racial mix than any other sports organization, in my opinion. I'm in the States. Thanks, Super Lee.
It is.
It's an interesting. It's a difficult one for us to talk about as to. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have an opinion. We absolutely should. But it is a difficult.
It's a difficult
subject for us to approach as to middle-aged white blokes. Do you know what I mean?
Middle-aged Caucasians.
Yeah, but we're white blokes, aren't we? Let's be fair. If you're watching along with us, we're currently at 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 16, 17, 18, 19 seconds.
But to just point out, if it is that it does seem to be going that way, then it should be addressed. But at the same time, if the individuals who are being released or who aren't getting it over as much, aren't getting over with the crowd as much, is a company going to get behind somebody who isn't getting over with the crowd?
That's it, isn't it?
It's a tough one.
Listen, let's also talk about Jey Uso just won the Royal Rumble.
Case in point. Case and point. We've also got
Rock. I
if I'm
mean,
not mistaken,
we're overselling a chair shot to the head there.
Yeah, we've also
Some of
got
the punishment Mankind's just taken in that match.
It's Mankind. It's Mick Foley. Bear in mind, we got in with the has the King of the Ring happened yet?
Which King of the Ring?
The King of the Ring. Hell in a Cell King of the Ring.
Yeah, that's 98. So that was about I don't know, 6 months before this.
That's what I mean.
We're only 6 months removed from that Hell in a Cell match.
Because did you say 99 or 98?
King of the Ring Hell in a Cell with Mick Foley's 98.
98. So
yeah, that's Bad Blood 98.
It was in June.
King of the Ring 98, sorry.
We're about
okay,
8
so
months.
We're a bit further. We're about 8 months, yeah. I was
8
close.
Months. Because it was 1998 June.
Yeah, so about 8 months then, yeah.
Either way, it's interesting because many people can sit there and say, "Oh, Mick Foley could, he can handle more than this. He had the Hell in a Cell match." Yeah, but the Hell in a Cell match could have done some damage that might have had long-term effects.
Absolutely.
And right now, this is many could sit there and say, is this their way to stall? No, this is a great way to tell a story between at the end of a match because they've just gone through an absolute brutal match of a last man standing match where both competitors beat each other up so badly they couldn't get up. But ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving on to the main event.
So Mankind holds it until the 15th of Feb. So it's tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw that he drops it back to The Rock.
Yep.
So literally they saved it for tomorrow night on Raw to swap the title. And here we go. This is the main event. So this is what we would here we go. So Super Lee says WWE main goal is to have international championships. I heard Triple H in an interview last year talking about hitting Mexico, Japan, Germany, etc. Like any other company trying to go global would.
Yeah.
And I don't see how racial discrimination would help this goal. We're all the same in the world, in the ring. One love. Agreed, Super Lee. I think it's just noise online, but because there's been quite a lot of it, I thought I'd bring it up. But yeah, some great chats there. Thank you very much for getting involved with us. We're loading up to the main event now. We're loading up to Vince McMahon versus Stone Cold in the cage, which is the reason we put this on in the first place. If you're watching along, 2 hours, 20 minutes, 37 seconds, about half an hour left of the show, just over. And I cannot wait for this one.
Oh,
I've been sat in this chair for too long. My bum's numb, but it's worth it.
This was a match that many could sit there and say, "Oh, it was, it wasn't much or anything. They didn't do much." Really? Is Vince classified as a wrestler right now?
Well, he won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And then he's wrestling in a cage match, headlining the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. He's still the owner, isn't he? He's the owner of the World Wrestling
Federation. He is, but would you expect an owner to be doing the things that he does in this match?
I mean, it's a different time. It's a different time, Matt Burns.
The risk he's taking here. Actually, I might actually need to rethink what I just said there. But I'll save that for when we're off the air. You probably, I can see you smirking. You just got what I just referred to. But yeah, the thing is, this was corporate Vince, where to everybody else, they didn't know he was going to get involved as much. And the fact is, he was more involved than what people give credit. Now, you said earlier it was the big blue steel cage.
Well, it's black, but it is the big blue cage.
It is, but it's been repainted black for this event. Which I will say,
Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole on commentary.
Yep. Which I will say, if I'm not mistaken, that cage was not loved by many.
Well, it was around this time when Vince was actually working this ring that he realized how hard the ring was. So this is around the time when they start softening the rings as well. So they start softening the rings, and obviously they replaced this cage in '99. They replace it with the mesh cage that we've become used to up to today. Yeah. This is actually the last appearance of what they call the big blue cage. I mean, it's black this time. They painted it, but it is the big blue cage for all intents and purposes.
I'm going to curse you right now for nicking my mat fact.
I'm sorry, that was a Scott statistic, I'm afraid.
He stole it from me, right underneath me.
He stole it.
But it's fine. But straight away, that steel cage was not gentle. A lot easier to climb out of compared to the mesh. But still. And bear in mind that the person who just had a match just a minute ago, Mick Foley, Mankind, how many times have we seen him hit the cage?
Yeah.
Right. And we've seen him in the blue steel ones. And he's hit it with some force. It's not easy.
It's easier to climb.
Yeah, but not bounce off of. Not bounce off of.
Here he comes. The biggest draw in the history of pro wrestling. Arguably.
Yeah.
Hogan fans and Cena fans may disagree.
Cena good, but the difference is, at least with Cena, he was happy that crowd give a reaction, whether you're booing or cheering him.
Cena had a very different demographic, though, didn't he? Let's be fair to him.
Yeah. Hogan came in just as during the golden era.
Well, I mean, Hogan in a lot of ways is responsible for that golden era. I don't think Vince could have done it without Hogan. I don't think Hogan could have done it without Vince. You know, Hogan made Vince a millionaire. Austin made Vince a billionaire. That's what I think.
Nope. Took the words straight out my mouth right there, which is straight away. The fact is, the whole Austin and McMahon feud was just epic beyond belief. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, change the business, Matt Burns.
Yeah. Well, take into account, this is one of the feuds that actually helped WWF/WWE, to catch up in the ratings with WCW.
And here comes Mr. McMahon coming out to the originally the Royal Rumble '99 music for the pay-per-view, but that was then taken as the corporation's theme song and Vince McMahon's song up until when he left the WWF. And that was because Austin had no chance in hell of winning the Royal Rumble in 1999. And that's your background on the No Chance in Hell song and why it is what it is.
I mean, they're so popular.
I mean, he was ripped, though, wasn't he? Obsessed with the gym.
Yeah. It wasn't a small individual, that's for sure. But right now, we have got Vince McMahon in one of the during his massive feud. And the weird thing about it is he doesn't go for the door.
It's madness, that is. No chance.
Straight away, saying, "You coming in? Come on, come on."
Is there a ref in the ring yet? No.
Nope. Oh, it's not.
What are the rules for this one? Is it escape only? Or is it pinfall and escape? Because they did different things, didn't they? So in everywhere but the WWF, the rule was pinfall or submission. You can't escape the cage because that's quitting.
Yeah.
WWF was about escaping the cage for a while, and then they merged the rules and did both. But I don't know I don't know where we are at this point.
I'm just trying to figure it out myself because I think this was meant to be escape.
That makes sense.
Because
you can tell this version of the cage not as tall as the next version. It looks quite short, doesn't it? Easier to climb out of.
I will say, though, at least with the next iteration, when you get on top of that cage, you've got a bit more room for your feet to if you ever want to do something off the top.
Yeah.
What I find funny is you've now got Vince, let's just say, come on, I'll take you on. While he's got the high ground.
The door on him, really. Oh, yeah. Keep it going for us a second, Matt Burns.
And, you got Vince there saying, I've got the high ground. But anyway, here comes Vince, almost falling off the top of the cage. But here he comes. Nope. Is he back down? Has he changed his mind? He's stopping? No, he's still trying to stop Austin. He's brawling with him. I'm just surprised right now he hasn't pulled Vince's foot right now. Oh. The twist of the knee. Oh, dear. Now, what's so clever about this is most people start thinking, was that an accident? No, that was planned. As it's about to be all revealed as he's coming out. Vince with the extra swagger. And ready? Here we go. Boom! Straight away, feigning an injury to lull Vince McMahon into a trap, which is absolutely fantastic. So right now we've got the Rattlesnake teaching Vince McMahon an absolute brutal beatdown. And the scary thing about it is right now, the match hasn't even started officially yet. They've got to get into the actual steel cage for the match to start. So we are currently waiting for them to get into the ring to start the match, but this is a great way to show how much hate there is between Austin and Vince McMahon right now during this time in this feud, which to many, everyone said they're saying, this feud was great, and many WCW fans could sit there saying, why is this great? Oh, bear this in mind, this is almost saying like a working class individual against their boss. But the funny thing about it is you got the crowd even saying to Vince right now, you got no chance, Vince. You got no chance. But I believe we're about to come up to a bit of a spot that I probably alluded to earlier right now, which we're just watching.
Yeah, so I had to run to the little boy's room ever so quickly. And Got myself some mukbang as well, so I can keep going. Got myself a nice bowl of cereal.
Oh, so you're bowling? You're bowling for it, are you? But yeah, here we go. Ooh, ooh. I will say that was a bit vicious there. Super Lee's actually asking what sort of cereal it is. He's actually wondering if is it Cocoa Puffs?
Sorry, I was just syncing up with the video. So I am at 2 hours, 32 minutes, 22 seconds. Super Lee, they are Cocoa Pops, but they are Cocoa Pops Mega Pops. So they actually look a bit more like Nesquik. If you've ever had the Nesquik cereal, that's what they actually look like. Other cereal brands are available.
Oh, and possible toast as well. But anyway, we're fighting through the crowd right now, which is absolutely brutal for the match. And the match hasn't even started right now, has it?
No, but I mean, you're not going to get a classic catch can match here.
No.
Vince and Steve. It's going to be a brawl. It's going to be wild. So you may as well do this crowd participation part first, especially considering the live crowd won't have expected it. It's a cage match. They're going to be confined in the cage. So do you know what? Let's swerve them, if you like. Let's go round the crowd. Let's give them a bit of a show, and then we can get the match in the cage for the last 10 or so minutes. You've got to think we've got 18 minutes left of this pay-per-view. So anytime in the next couple of minutes now, get them back in the ring and then start leading towards the finish.
Yep. Oh, you forget how close them steps are to that barrier.
I think you're slightly ahead, mate. Just check your time against what's on the screen.
33. There we go. I'm up to date.
There we go. Got Steve holding McMahon's hair, McMahon trying to climb the cage to get in the match.
Yeah, we got it. Bang on. And oh, look, it's Steve.
That's a cool back, fair news. It's Steve.
I had to. Oh, I can see where this is. I can see where this is leading to right now. I can see where this is leading to right now because they're not going to go in the cage yet. They're going to go round the edge. I believe it's leading to the spot that I actually possibly mentioned earlier on this watch along. That it's leading to, but I believe it could be happening anytime soon.
You got to think for Austin, this is just a night off, right?
Or beating up your boss.
Yeah, we're just wrestling McMahon. I mean, it's not like he's got to have a 20-minute technical masterclass. He's literally brawling with McMahon around the ring.
Bit wobbling the legs.
Fair news to Vince McMahon. You're never afraid to take the bumps, was he?
No, he wasn't.
Big shot. Another big shot.
I believe it's in a man. It's about coming. Boom. Quick look. Here we go. Get ready. Boom.
Great spot, that. Really well executed as well. He may be dead. The commentary. Michael Cole. He may be dead. And now Austin sitting on top of that cage, happy as Larry.
20
feet.
Get
in the ring, or does he just sit there?
20 feet. He fell. 20 feet. I think King's voice is broke. No, there we go. It's back. It's back.
I love that the Spanish announcers just fall off their chairs as well. Hugo Savinovich just takes an absolute bump off his chair.
Take a bump.
You know, I was a real fan because at this point I knew what the Spanish announce team were named. That shows a certain level of watching, doesn't it? I took all the information in as a kid, though. I don't know if you were the same, but like when I was a kid watching this, I used to know everyone's hometown, everyone's height and weight. I used to know all the referees' names, all the commentators' names. I don't have that level of interest. I do, but I don't have that level of knowledge now as I did back then.
Well, you mean the knowledge that you're still retained and are doing during this watch along right now?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You know what I mean? It's like
it's just shocking.
I took all that in.
Got the referees, and we've got nowhere.
Jimmy Corderas there, closest to the camera. Got Tim White, Mike Chioda. I'm pretty sure I've got Earl Hebner there as well, but I think he's wearing like a coat.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's wearing a coat. They're checking over another net break. Yep, it is just an escape match. Are we going to get a classic Vince McMahonism? I'm just waiting for it. Did you hear that then from Vince? Don't tempt me, don't tempt me.
And we're now watching Vince get stretchered or put on the stretcher with his neck brace on, all the officials helping him out at ringside and potentially going to wheel him off. And we've got Austin in the ring like a caged animal just waiting to get out. And in comes the Fink to the ring to Austin and referee Mike Chioda. Oh,
don't move me.
He's not happy with what the Fink's going to say. Grab the microphone out of his hand. And Austin says it's bull.
Here we go. Some guarantees. He ain't going to lose that easy. What's wrong with you? That's what I can hear.
A promo mid-main event. And Austin's coming for him.
I find that brilliant that they're all trying to race off. Like, quick, let's get him over here. Move. See you later. You out of here. Hello.
And here comes Austin. He's got the gurney. He's got the stretcher. Taking him back to the ring. Pushes him. Oh, flips him into the cage.
Oh.
Pushes over the cameraman. And then he's going to hit him with the stretcher. Boom. Hits him with the stretcher.
Might need a second board. Oh, no, there it is.
Hits him again on the outside. I love that Mike Chioda, instead of telling him to let Vince go back on the stretcher, Mike Chioda's telling him to get back in the ring with him. Get him in the ring.
Get him in the ring. You want to whoop him? Just get him in the ring. Get this over with.
And then the match has started. Ding, ding, ding.
Wait. Ring the bell. Here we go.
Big a bump. Big clothesline.
There goes the net brace. Whoop. Quick stomp. We now have the match. The official match has started.
And we've literally got 10 minutes left.
Yep.
Oh, love this. This elbow, the Austin elbow. Boom.
Boom.
Only him and Bret Hart, though, I remember doing it like that.
I know there is one other individual who does that on the UK scene.
Oh, yeah.
But I just remember seeing the elbow and then going black. I don't remember much after that. But anyway,
Austin,
it looks
man.
like
it's hard to like describe just how over Austin was at this point. Like, my kids don't get it at all. I tried to talk to him about Stone Cold, and he's just like,
he is absolute epicness for us. It's almost like trying to compare Fortnite, but straight away here.
Austin's nearly out of the cage, and Vince is flipping him off in the ring. And Austin's going to go back for seconds, I think.
Has he just given me that? Really? Boom.
As we go into the last 10 minutes or so here, if you are watching or listening along, we're at 2 hours, 43 minutes, 13, 14, 15 seconds watching Austin versus Vince, St. Valentine's Day Massacre 99. Thank you for joining us if you've watched this far or listened this far. We've had real fun doing it, I think. Matt Burns,
yeah. You know, it's always fun doing these watch-alongs. I love it because we get to rewatch some nostalgia, possibly learn something that we might have missed the first time around or
Vince low blow.
Yep. Point being is
not just that, but we're talking peak fandom here.
Yeah. Look, here we go.
Vince's facials.
It goes. Now, how risky is this?
Oh, so risky. Brilliant, though.
How risky was that?
I think how hard that ring must have been for Vince to want to change the rings.
Oh, it's got to be.
Based on this match.
Is it based on this match?
Yeah.
It's like, we need more springs in that ring. Here we go.
I think the level of padding over the wood.
And I think that's the reason why the steel cage has been changed.
Oh, definitely.
Seeing as Vince just got introduced to it via the hard way.
They were having so many injuries.
Yeah.
Here comes the colour.
Yeah.
I think that was hard way off that cage as well, you know.
Wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me. One more for good measure.
Yeah, so the first one didn't do it, the second one well.
Oh, was that a hair or was that an actual cut? Oh, I know what's coming here right now. A rare glimpse. This is a certain visual, isn't it? No. There we go. Boom.
Just teasing him. You know, Mr. McMahon in the ring, bleeding from his head, on his knees, flipping Austin off as Austin tries to escape the cage. And it just teases Austin back into the ring. And that's what this is about. This is about Austin not getting to WrestleMania. That's what this is about. If Austin beats McMahon, Austin gets a title shot at WrestleMania against The Rock or Mankind.
And what's genius about this, it's Vince is lulling Austin more by, He's only got to survive Austin right now by his own mind, by his own plan. Oof. Ooh, that was a rough landing.
Dragging McMahon.
Oof.
Foot on his face, just punishing him.
Match could be easily over right now. Could be. Could have been over multiple times, but it isn't. You know, I believe this was Vince trying to teach a lesson to Austin in humility or hubris. But as we all know, as some of us may know, the
whole story is about Austin not becoming the WWF champion. Vince will do anything. So not going to WrestleMania almost guarantees that. But
there we go.
Done it. Oh. And we now know that Vince is down and Austin can get away.
There we go. Is this the adjustment now? Here he is. The mystery gas.
And this is it. This is the debut of Paul White in WWF.
Yeah.
God, it's massive.
Yeah. Straight away. And this, to me, is just different, isn't it? Because we've right now got
chocolate milk
Paul. We've got Paul White right now, who isn't been named the Big Show yet, which is a matter of fact. This is his official debut. And bear in mind that this was the first time he was called Paul White in wrestling, but we don't get him until later when he's at AEW, being Paul White again. But this, that to me, is a rare finish.
Yeah, and it's clever really because Austin's been goaded back into the ring by McMahon. McMahon's then got the insurance policy of Paul White under the ring, comes out through the ring, and now he's going to batter Austin, so he can't go to WrestleMania, and Vince is going to get the win. And the banana peel here is that the Big Show's so big and so powerful that when he throws Austin into the cage door swings open, and Austin lands on the floor, escaping for victory. And now Austin can go on to WrestleMania to wrestle for the WWF Championship. It's really good on so many levels.
That it is. It's absolutely amazing.
Some people won't like that as a finish. I think it's really clever.
I do.
Because you've successfully debuted Paul White as a giant. I mean, how strong was he to throw Austin into that cage and it to open?
Exactly.
So you've got the shock and awe of that. Austin gets the win and gets to WrestleMania, which is the other thing you really, really want to happen. Your biggest star in the main event of your biggest show.
And you got Vince now, who's one of the biggest heels, upset.
Well, he got his way, didn't he? That crowd got to see Austin beat the crap out of Vince.
Yeah. But the question is, I believe many people during this time are sitting there thinking, what's his goal? What's his target? Is it going to be Austin? Is he still going to be hunting Austin?
Well, I mean, right now, all you're thinking is that Vince McMahon's aligning himself with the biggest, baddest dude out there.
Oh, yeah. Oh. But anyway, I believe we are just about getting to the end of this watch along, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're nearly there. I mean, I've got a couple of seconds left. I don't know about you.
Yeah, we haven't got long. It's only, like I said, it's only a couple of seconds.
Cage as it opens up.
You hear the ring bell.
And now Paul White helping McMahon up. And I suppose what you get from this is real excitement for Monday Night Raw tomorrow.
Exactly.
Paul White's debuted, exciting. Austin's going to WrestleMania, exciting. Mankind's the champion. So right now, as of tonight, St. Valentine's Day Massacre closing, the main event of WrestleMania is Mankind versus Steve Austin for the WWF Championship.
Exactly. And I believe that some of the ring crew are actually happy right now because part of the ring's already been, part of the cage has already come off. It's already opened.
I love
It's less
that.
work.
Absolutely love it.
But honestly, I think that is, as much as people can sit there and say that wasn't one of the best, some of the matches that they started off with, Gold Dust versus Blue Dust and everything. But the thing is, it's something different. And if we didn't have this match right now, what would if we didn't have the Vince McMahon versus Austin steel cage match, this entire event, what could you put in place?
Yeah, absolutely. It's historical for a few reasons. We know that it is the last ever in your house until NXT picked it back up. It's the last ever appearance of that big block cage, the big blue cage, if you like. It was black this time, but it's the big blue cage.
Yeah.
The first appearance of Paul White.
And I believe it was also the time where it got decided that the ring become a little bit softer.
There you go. So loads and loads of stuff happened. It's also, my favorite event for so many reasons, leading up to my favorite WrestleMania. But we have something to do before we close out, Matt Burns, and that is to crown our Burning Truth champion for this watch along for tonight. This, pardon?
That we do.
Yeah, it's not a literal physical championship. It's a
mental.
It's a figurative championship, but it goes tonight to the one and only Super Lee. Thanks, Super Lee, for watching along with us. The comment for me that got it was Kurt Cobain would say corporate rock still sucks, and that's had me howling in the back of my mind for ages. So well done, Super Lee. Great comment. You win.
But at the same time, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, hang on.
Super Lee says cheers. What's he doing now?
An alarm just gone off.
Oh, right. Okay. Bedtime.
No. Different sort of alarm.
And I think it is time for us to say that's a wrap. Super Lee says cheers. But I'm going to put your original comment back up, Super Lee, because Kurt Cobain would say corporate rock still sucks. Absolutely. You are the Burning Truth watch along champion for tonight.
Although
hold your trophy up high.
Hold your trophy up high. But at the same time, for me, another comment from Super Lee that I loved was, it's Steve!
Yeah.
But anyway, with that being said, and with that being all done and dusted, that's a wrap on our WWF/WWE St. Valentine's Day Massacre 1999 watch along, even though there was only one of them named that event. But anyway, what an absolute roller coaster steel cage chaos. Championship Wars, one of the most shocking debuts in WWF/WWE history. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you've had as much fun as we have.
You've been going for a long time now, Matt Burns. Well done to getting that out. If you want more of the Burning Truth, let's keep the conversation going. Catch up with us on social media. We're on Twitter and Blue Sky at TVT Live UK. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, of course, the YouTube where you're watching us now, hopefully. We're also on Threads now as well. Just search any of those places for the Burning Truth for full episodes, reactions, and exclusive content.
And don't forget to smash or body slam that like button, subscribe, and drop us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Every like, sub, and comment helps us build an even bigger community of wrestling fans, and we couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, we can't do it without you. We're desperate to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. It's a big target and it's going to be slow going, but we're desperate to get there. So please help by subscribing to the channel or sharing our shows wherever you talk about your wrestling. Here's something huge. Head over to theburningtruthuk.com right now for breaking wrestling news and updates. But you can also check out our brand new merch store. We've got t-shirts, mugs, and more coming soon to help you rep the Burning Truth wherever you go. Trust me, you do not want to miss these killer designs.
But until next time, stay fired up, stay passionate, and remember, DFTBA. And just in case you don't know what that means, it of course means don't forget to be awesome.
It's Steve.